NJ.com. According to one source, Judge is at the top of the Giants list, and they won't be underbid. The Sacramento-born Judge grew up in Linden, California as a huge San Francisco Giants fan. Klay Thompson did something in his career that he's never done last night. The Warriors 134-105 lost to the Suns in Phoenix.
Moments ago, Klay Thompson has been ejected from this ballgame. We talked about him and Devin Booker getting into it. This was the double technical between the two. As Klay is going to the bench, he has words with the official, Ed Malloy, who gives him his second technical and sends him to the locker room.
The game featured 7 technical fouls in the third quarter alone, which tied an NBA record for most technical fouls in a quarter over the last 25 seasons, according to Elias Sports Bureau research. Boston Celtics forward Jaylen Brown and LA Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald both announced on Tuesday that they're leaving Donda Sports, the sports agency founded by the artist formerly known as Kanye West, due to anti-Semitic comments that the Grammy Award-winning artist recently made. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone. When he's not on the microphone, he's playing a song. And when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, it's a fine Wednesday, October 26th, as we, hold on, 27, 28. Halloween's on a Monday?
Yeah.
Would anyone object? Like, here's, as we come up on our midterm elections, politics are on, some people's minds and policies and all that. I once again bring up, we usually talk about Super Bowl Sunday. Would anyone object to a Halloween observed where it always falls on either a Friday or Saturday?
What would be the better day, though?
I personally think Friday, because everyone goes to school, you do your Halloween stuff when applicable, because a lot of schools won't let you do that anymore. True story. And then you have Halloween that night. So, in some cases, kids can go to other friends' houses after school if they're trick-or-treating, whatever. But most importantly, they get 2 days to recover from the sugar high diabetes that they get from Halloween.
And it would fit into that time slot or age slot of the kids. I say kids, but people that are 18 to 35 that are probably always going out on Friday night. Right. And it's like, and they're maybe going to Halloween parties, but not trick-or-treating. Yes. And then if you're a little bit older and you have kids, it kind of fits into that. Yeah, Friday would be good.
35?
I don't know.
It's like 18 to 28.
All right.
Then go out.
On Halloween?
Well, I know, not Halloween. I'm saying Friday night.
He's saying just in general. Like, that's the age of people that go, go
If
to
you're
a
single,
well, go to a
I don't
club.
know.
Yeah. No, I think you're
because if
right.
you're married and you're in your early 20s, you might be staying home.
Yeah, but
I
there's
don't know.
young married couples.
Sure.
Either they have kids and they get a sitter for the night. That's their one night to be young, or they don't have kids and screw it. Let's go.
There are people 60 that are going out on Friday night. It doesn't really matter.
That's just a common sense thing to me. Now, I'm struggling with Halloween this year with mine. Jay, you have a Halloween age child.
Yes, a trick-or-treat age child.
Yeah. It's yes. and well, in my case, my son was born on the 30th, so it's kind of a thing. Yeah, a little pumpkin head couldn't wait one day to pop out and be a Halloween baby. That would have been great. And I'm struggling with my children this year because I know they want to go. My son especially, and he has this will be the 7th straight year he's gone as a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which is a cool little costume. He fits into 2 pieces of bread, and he's got a little mask and all that. And
your son would be the child to do the same costume
every
7 years
year.
in a row.
It works. It's not broken.
I think in the last 11 years, because he's about to turn 14, in the last 11 years, he's had 2 Halloween outfits. He was something called a griefer.
A reefer?
No, it's something in Minecraft, and it's green, and it has a box head.
A reefer?
Griefer madness?
Griefer, yeah. Maybe it's not a griefer. I don't know what it is, but someone will know. It's Minecraft. They're green, and they have a box for a head, basically. Almost looks like camo on it. And then he changed to a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I want to say, when he was 8. And, yeah, you're right. It's easy. He hangs that costume up in his closet, pulls it out once a year.
So 14's... close to that fringe, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's the cutoff age. I feel like middle school, 8th grade, like that's kind of your last year.
I agree. And my daughter's 15. And she asked me last night, she said her friends parents are having letting her have a Halloween get together with like 6 or 7 kids. And
that's different.
Yeah, exactly.
Than trick-or-treating.
It is. But I put the kibosh on it, and I know I'm probably wrong.
Do you know the parents?
I mean, hey.
Okay, so you don't know the parents.
Hey.
Reaper. It's a Reaper, not a griefer. Sorry. Yeah, I put the kibosh because I was like, you know what? I've only got you for a few more years. You're doing Halloween with me. I don't care.
What does that mean?
Like, well, because she
sounds like an episode of Modern Family.
She's gonna be 18 and then go to college.
No. What does the Halloween with you mean?
Well,
what does that entail?
I'm really pushing for our kids, and then our friends' kids who are the same age to do. Like, I really want, like, this is the last year. Can we just have the last year? Can we just have one last? Okay, this is the last year, kids.
Yeah, but are you going out, or are they going to be handing out candy, or
no? We go trick or treating.
Oh, like, you will. Okay, that's what you mean.
I am pushing the limit, no doubt. But like,
are you going to dress up?
I don't know, man. I feel like your daughter's in high school, and
if
kids find out she went trick or treating with her dad.
Let her fly.
Yeah, man, kind of not doing her a favor.
I know. I don't know. It's just I'm running out of this stuff, man.
I get it. Well, just make another one.
Yeah. Great idea, Jay.
Well, I won't mention who, but because it's their business. But I saw on Facebook yesterday, we all have a friend who is they're about to have their 4th child. 4th, and I want to say like
Jerry Reynolds?
Huh? No, it's somebody here.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
Yeah, you know, okay. And I'm just like, oh God, like good luck. You know who it is?
I don't. I can't wait for the break.
No, yeah, I'll tell you the break. Anyways, it's like, yo, pinch it off, dear Lord.
Oh
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Number 4.
And they're close together.
Yes.
Very close together.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, on one hand, I like the idea because it's like, all right, get everybody in car seats at the same time, get everybody out of diapers in the same. Like, I get that.
4.
But then it's also like, have them far apart so like the older ones can take care of the younger ones.
Yeah.
Our neighbors across the street. This sounds like a bit, and it's not. Our neighbors across the street, I believe, just had their 11th. Yeah. 11th.
Yeah.
My God, I can't. And they're like, you know, like the old woman who lives in a shoe.
Yeah.
Like they're just coming out of the windows. Yeah. And here's the thing.
Got 2 of them in the car sleeping.
And it's like, it's a really difficult thing to approach as a neighbor because.
Where's Johnny? I don't know.
Well,
which one's Johnny?
They're not. We communicate. We smile. We say hi. We've shaken hands before and stuff. But they're not. They don't have the best grasp of English, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, we're very friendly.
The communication barrier.
Yeah. They're a little bit.
So but if they come over for trick or treat, all your candy's gone.
They don't trick or treat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big no-no with them. They're very, nah. So here's my thing always with them. Like we live in a court and whenever I turn into the court, no matter what the time is, I'm going at like 1 mile per hour. I've learned this. Because at all times of day and night, there will be child or more likely children that are rolling around in their big wheel or they're this or they're that. They're in the middle of the court. And I am scared. I am scared to death. I've always been. Not everybody's going to creep around that corner. And I want to say, guys, this is how like you read, you know, I hate to think like this, but I do. Like you see on the news, tragedy and this happened. Well, yeah, but don't let your children at like 8 at night where it's almost completely dark. There's like 5 of these kids out there in the middle of the court. It's like, bro, no, don't. What are you doing? What?
The headlight on that big wheel.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
So
I've got extra kids though.
Yeah. It's
Jason. I'd say maybe there's a more sinister plan at hand that you're unaware of.
Woof me out. Full disclosure today. Carmichael Dave's day today. I
think it's more hour to hour.
I got a double whammy going on. So remember when I was telling you how I was really having a great time at the driving range with my buddy Tom Morton the other day? Yeah. I think I might have done something because I woke up this morning and my nerve issue is back in my leg and I am limping badly. That would it's tough for me to sit right now. That would be enough, but that's just pain. Some of you may remember the story of Super Bowl and when we interviewed Pierre Garçon. Why do I want to say Willie Gault? Pierre Garçon. And I had a migraine that morning. I caught it. I took my meds, but the problem is sometimes when I take my meds, if I don't eat right away, and this is usually what happens if I wake up in the middle of the night and do this. I don't eat for hours. I can feel a heartburning nausea right at the top of my chest. So I already once this morning have had to swallow profusely. Don't isolate that. And I have the same feeling I did with Pierre Garçon, which ended up with me rushing past NFL security and throwing up in their bathroom.
I was there.
You were there. You saw it. Now, again, full disclosure, I'm not sick. I would never come in. I would never do that to you. This is 100% a migraine and medication thing. But you may or may not see vomit on the YouTube chat today. So you might want to go to Sactown Sports and watch. And if you've ever seen anybody vomit live, I've got a garbage bag.
It's not gonna be like Stand By Me. If you go, then I go, and then Jay goes, and Pat and Tom.
Yes. And I mean, the ratings would work.
Yeah,
that'd be a blast. So,
okay,
it is what it is. I got the sweaty.
Did you eat?
Well, I the problem, it's always a fun thing when you are nauseous and you have to eat, but you're nauseous. So I have managed to get a Nutri-Grain bar down. I still have the Cliff Bar over there, but I don't think I can do that right now. So I'm hoping that will mesh with whatever things going on in my tummy with my meds right now.
Okay.
But anyways, so and you'll probably notice today, and I apologize, Jason, that the studio may in fact be a little cooler than normal because I'm sweating right now. Like,
really?
I am hotter than I don't know what's hot. Hotter than
a pig in a blanket.
Hotter than the Portland Trailblazers, right? Because they're 4-0. Yeah, Dame Lillard's not washed, is he? No. Remember that? Kings play tomorrow.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's play. Stupid.
Yeah, let's put them in back-to-backs. Let's play games.
Premature season jubilation, right?
That's it.
Is that did I nail it?
Yeah.
Okay. We have Kayte Christensen on today. She'll talk to us about the Sacramento Kings as well as we take stock. We have audio from practice as well. Yesterday, we have a word from Jason right now on ACR Solar, and then immediately, not even a break here, just immediately, we are going to do leading off next.
The place to tell you if the 49ers are contenders or pretenders.
It's a pretty big deal. I've been a fan of the 49ers since, 84.
Your home for 49ers news and talk. Sactown Sports. Your local sports leader.
It's hard to watch. He's hurting. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm feeling better, not because I'm enjoying watching Dave in pain. He's not doing well, but I'm feeling better because of our home situation is much better. I think I need to prolong this for ACR Solar. Go to acrsolar.com to get the very latest on what they can provide for you. They've got home services. They do roofing. Of course, they do solar. For us, it was about the roof situation. We are in a home for a long, long time. And our home, when we bought it, didn't need a new roof at the time, but we've been there almost 20 years. And over those 20 years, with whatever went on before we even owned the home, it had served its purpose. It had been a good roof, but we are in this position where we needed a brand new roof. So what do you do then? Well, we called multiple roofing companies, got our bids, and all of them, know what they're doing, but it was just something different when we talked to ACR Solar. Joe Peterson is the roofing expert there, and Joe really laid it out for us. We just connected very well with him. He had years of experience, and we just knew what to expect. And then when we actually got the project started, Joe was there every day in constant communication with us. So we knew what was coming. He also got his hands dirty in there too. He would help out with the crew. So it's just stuff we appreciated. And then the whole goal is, what does the new roof look like? How functional is it? Well, it's perfect. It looks great. We got a brand new roof, great curb appeal, and peace of mind knowing that we can handle any of the elements that are going to go on in Sacramento. So we are thrilled. If you're in a spot where you need a new roof, check out acrsolar.com.
Let's do it.
It's time for Leading Off.
Brought to you by Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge, where for over 60 years, their name means a great deal in Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com. Here's cut number 1.
Moments ago, Klay Thompson has been ejected from this ball game. We talked about him and Devin Booker getting into it. This was the double technical between the two. As Klay is going to the bench, he has words with the official Ed Malloy, who gives him his second technical and sends him to the locker room. But Candace, as he's walking off,
it looks like he has a few choice words.
Aha. That was that's a series we never got.
Yes.
And
which we all expected we were getting.
Yes, and last night, that's the type of game we expected. Not necessarily the result, but just chippy technicals, some high-level basketball, some not-so-high-level basketball. And what Klay Thompson did last night, I like to call the Rudy Gay in Sacramento, because Rudy was great at this. Every once in a while, when the Kings are getting blown out, Rudy he wanted to hit the showers. And so Rudy, not being a guy that in fact, I think one of the games was against the Warriors, as a matter of fact. Rudy is not the most hot-tempered guy, but you just knew when Rudy get going on occasion. He was, in fact, it wouldn't have surprised me. You couldn't hear what he'd say to the officials, but it's kind of like in baseball when a manager asks to be run.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy just wanted to be run.
Yeah.
We've seen that before. Klay was 1 of 8. And Devin Booker finished, I think, 10 and 19, 34 points. Klay Thompson had 2. Klay was not having a good time last night. And so Klay got chirping, or probably Devin Booker got chirping.
Mm-hmm.
And Klay was not in the mood for it. And
first time ever for him.
Yeah, I think Klay just wanted to go bye-bye. So
yeah, and then it was not that big of a gap in the game at that time, and then Phoenix just destroyed him from that point on.
Also, a lot of technicals in that third quarter, 7 total, tying a NBA single quarter record for techs over the last 25 years.
62-39 in the second half. 62-39 in the second half for the Phoenix Suns. And as you said, I mean, it was I think a 6-point game at the half, and then all heck broke loose for the Warriors. But you know what? The Warriors are the defending champions. The Warriors and Klay Thompson have 4 rings. Phoenix has none. This is the 4th game of the season for both teams. So it's just one of those. Again, I hope we get, I think they play 4 times this year, whether they play 3 or 4. I hope we get 4 games like that. And then I hope depending on how the season goes, but wouldn't mind seeing this in the postseason.
No, if this is just the start of something, I think the NBA, you don't need fighting, but an edge is okay.
I like the gritty, and I, again, 6 degrees of Kings, I'm watching the game last night, and obviously I would love for them to play that type of, high level basketball and have that type of talent, which they might, but to show that type of talent. But then I'm also, let's say somebody from the Suns, somebody from the Warriors, whoever in that situation, who's the guy in the Kings that's going to talk back? Who's the guy in the Kings that's gonna be that guy? And maybe not. Maybe it's you could also say, well, who was it on the?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it was Klay. Now you put a game with Chris Paul and Draymond, sure, but I wouldn't have guessed it was Klay. But sometimes the fuse runs out, and it's time.
Maybe Klay. I like to think Klay. I'm not sure who they play next if they came home last night, but maybe he came home late last night, got on his boat. Went out, put on a hoodie, cleared his mind, played a little Phil Collins, circa the 80s, little Miami Vice kind of music.
Okay.
Yeah, wind blowing through his hair. Probably not.
Christopher Cross, Sailing.
Takes me away from where I've always.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Number 2.
Cut number 2.
Yeah, there's a pot of gold there. It's yet to be determined what the gold, how much it weighs, but it's a pot of gold, no doubt about it. So, good for him. It was already a big pot, and obviously it'll be bigger. But he's put himself in an amazing position to have a lot of choices, and clearly, obviously, we'd like to win the day on that discussion, and that's obviously for another day. But we said that before the season. We said that many times during the season, and if you need to hear it again, I'll say it again. Yeah, of course, we'd love to have Aaron Judge back as a New York Yankee, and but that's all for another day.
No, make it today. Sign him.
Let's go. There's never been, that was the general manager of the Yankees. There's never been a more appropriate name for a GM of any team, because he is the cash man. He's going to have to be Brian Cashman.
Aaron will be the judge of that.
Yeah. Jason, I will maintain that I would be like, Red Fox, Elizabeth, here I come, shocked, fall down on the floor, if Aaron Judge doesn't re-sign with the Yankees. If they don't just have a nice meeting, roll out the Brinks truck, tell him he's getting the C on his chest, which means something, oddly enough. I mean, being the captain of the Yankees is not something you take lightly. They're going to do everything they can. And boy, do they wish they had wrapped this up before the season started. Aaron Judge bet on himself. Aaron Judge won.
Big time.
But a story yesterday, what was it, the New Jersey something?
NJ.com.
Yeah. Big, long, detailed story that the Giants not only are in the mix for Aaron Judge, which we had surmised, but will not be underbid, are obsessed with it, are going to do everything they can to sign Aaron Judge. And they used not only his ties to the local area, being born in Sacramento, raised in Linden, 90 miles away from San Francisco.
Greater Sacramento area.
I think the one thing in the article, if true, and you never know how, listen, I'm not challenging their credibility, but you hear some exaggerations at times. The one thing that makes me pause for the first time was when they described almost like a reception line with media. Aaron Judge did his Q&A at the end of the season, and then they said for half hour, 45 minutes, I think, writer after media member came up to Aaron Judge and just kind of shook his hand, thanked him for being a great guy in the media, not asking questions, just, hey, thank you, great season, blah blah blah. And at one point, again, according to the report, Aaron Judge said, I'll see you sometime down the line. And if that's true, on the other hand, Jimmy Garoppolo on line 3. And I know this isn't the same thing, but sometimes at the end of the year, you think one thing's going to happen and you maybe say goodbye just in case. And I'm pretty sure in the negotiations, Jason, Aaron Judge and his representation, when offered a giant bag of money from the Yankees, are not going to say, we want to take the deal, but we did the whole goodbye thing with the media. I don't know. We can't come back from that.
And I don't know if that's, I without hearing the exact context, see you down the line. I guess he could have easily said, see you soon.
Sure.
But down the line also, it could be, what is that, March?
Yeah.
Just spring training, see you soon. Or I don't know. Yeah, it's could be a huge topic, obviously, for the Yankees. And if the Giants land him, wow. Yeah. That's one of their, that's a Bonds-esque move.
As a Giants fan, I will say again, I don't want it. Now, I'm not trying to be hot take guy. I'm saying his age.
Right.
The amount of money.
Yeah, is it good for them? Honest, I think it's a fair question.
Obviously they will be better with Aaron Judge. I'm just saying.
But enough?
Right. Enough to justify the amount of money they're going to give him at the age he is, for the years he's going to get. They got Barry Bonds as a young Pittsburgh Pirate.
Right. He had great years for the Giants. Yeah.
Judge is already well into his prime. You're definitely going to be paying him for years he's not in his prime. And the question for Giants fans is, do you want to give him $300, $400, or $500 million, or do you want to grab 2 studs, maybe not an Aaron Judge, but 2 studs for $250 million apiece? Yeah. And I think I side that way, and I'm sure I'm probably in the minority. Number 3. No, not number 3. Oh, we got to go. Okay, because Jay Mars talked too long. Well, yeah, guess no time for that story. We'll take a break. When we come back, we talked about bad beats yesterday. This is maybe an all-time bad beat, but it's an all-time bad beat looming for a casino. We'll get to that next.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports 1140. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people that play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf.
It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa
every week on Sactown Sports 1140. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility, and Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. And Safe Credit Union. Let us put you first.
Cut him off. Stay in front of him. Okay, take a break. Sacramento, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking whatever happened to the off season. Seems there's never any downtime. Now, I'm not complaining, but it means that we've got to be at our best every day. No excuses allowed. That includes pain in the feet, legs, hips, and back. Fortunately, thanks to the Good Feet 3-step arch support system, you no longer need to be sidelined with foot-related pain. For over 25 years, Good Feet arch supports have been designed to comfortably put all 4 arches of the foot and whole body in its more ideal pain-free position. Good Feet makes over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities of arch supports. And to make sure you get just the right pair, a Good Feet arch support specialist will give you a free personalized fitting and test walk. Do your best every day with the pain-free comfort, balance, and support of Good Feet arch support. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto, online at goodfeet.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Cap Capital Casino, and the primetime football giveaway, it's back. They're giving away a total of $500 for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento, with plenty of well-lit parking and some of the best food in a friendly environment. For more information on tournaments and gaming, please log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. As always, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Buying a new Acura is an easy decision, and Acura of Stockton makes buying easy. Come and see us today or shop online. If we don't have it, you can pre-select your favorite Acura and pick it up when it arrives. No contracts or deposits required. It's that easy. Plus, we'll pay top dollar for your trade whether you buy from us or not. Don't settle for less than the quality of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or online at AcuraofStockton.com.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
For 74 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and, well, many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 74th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The history behind the Bayonet and Black Horse golf courses is as colorful as their lush green fairways and white sand bunkers. Located overlooking the beautiful Monterey Bay on the former Fort Ord, Bayonet Golf Course was built in 1954 by Commanding General Robert McClure and named after the 7th Infantry's Bayonet Division. It seems the lefty general was plagued with a bit of a slice, and a little creative architecture managed to reduce his handicap with a series of sharp dogleg holes known as Combat Corner, where I've waged a bit of war myself. Black Horse was named in honor of the Black Horse 11th Cavalry Regiment. Lush fairways, imaginative bunker complexes, and beguiling bentgrass greens result in 2 sparkling ocean view gems, each offering a different experience. Bayonet's more traditional deep bunkers and tamer greens contrast with Black Horse's stunning large serrated bunkers and greens with more movement. They're a real treat. Visit BayonetBlackHorse.com for more. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Meta Chevy saves you $5,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Silverado Crew Cab half-ton 4x4 with LT package. $5,000 off Silverado exclusively at Meta Chevy. See all at MetaChevy.com. Find new road.
Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men.
Sactown Sports Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The San Francisco Giants will reportedly be in pursuit of Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge this offseason, according to a report from NJ.com. According to one source, Judge is at the top of the Giants list, and they won't be underbid. The Sacramento-born Judge grew up in Linden, California as a huge San Francisco Giants fan. Klay Thompson did something in his career that he's never done last night. The Warriors 134-105 lost to the Suns in Phoenix.
Moments ago, Klay Thompson has been ejected from this ballgame. We talked about him and Devin Booker getting into it. This was the double technical between the two. As Klay is going to the bench, he has words with the official, Ed Malloy, who gives him his second technical and sends him to the locker room.
The game featured 7 technical fouls in the third quarter alone, which tied an NBA record for most technical fouls in a quarter over the last 25 seasons, according to Elias Sports Bureau research. Boston Celtics forward Jaylen Brown and LA Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald both announced on Tuesday that they're leaving Donda Sports, the sports agency founded by the artist formerly known as Kanye West, due to anti-Semitic comments that the Grammy Award-winning artist recently made. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
They've been here for a combined 50 years. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
Welcome back. Before we get on to the bad beats, we definitely need to acknowledge what happened yesterday with Brittany Griner. Here is TJ Quinn breaking it down.
They recognized that no matter what happened, she was going to be found guilty in court, whether she actually did it or not. It was just a preordained outcome. The trial has been seen as theater, basically. What's going to happen with Brittany Griner is eventually the two governments are expected to work out a deal where there'll be a swap to bring her home. And the strategy was go ahead and plead, get it out of the way, because Russia will demand an admission of guilt before they agree to a deal. So why not do it now?
And that's kind of how everyone expected this to go. It's terrible for Brittany Griner. Was caught with a vape pen, something with weed oil in it or something at the airport. 9 years. Then it's very obvious. Listen, I'm all for you don't go to another country and break their law. I understand.
Right.
This is obviously a political situation. She is a political pawn. And it would be one thing if it was just normalcy between the U.S. and Russia.
Yeah.
But with everything going on in Ukraine
points
right
to
now,
be made
there
here.
Exactly. And that's where it becomes a very I don't, as much as we tend to rip on, and for good reason, our leaders, I don't envy this part, because on one hand, you want to do everything you can to bring her home. She's being wrongly held. It'll be a year February that she's been detained. A year February, which is a tragedy. And you want to get her home at all costs. But then the problem they're having right now is, we'll let her come back. You need to release the two terrorists and the guy who bombed the thing and this other, like these horrifically dangerous people.
Right.
And I'm not jealous of the decisions these folks will have to make. I wish they could the best thing would be just to buy them off. Just, how many tens, 20, whatever, how many millions of dollars? What's it going to take?
What's the number?
Can we do this without the prisoner exchange?
Yeah.
Can we just pay you off and get poor Brittany home? Anyway, so that is an unfortunate situation that you just hope will resolve itself sooner rather than later, because she's not getting these years back. And I think every day she's there, that's doing more and more damage mentally to her. She's going to be serving that. Let's put it this way. She's going to be serving that prison sentence long after she gets back to America.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. No real segue out of that. We'll just awkwardly segue out of that. Casinos win. This is a lesson.
That's why they keep being they're adding more of them or more rooms to them.
They are. They are big and shiny for a reason. But every once in a while, the little guy prevails. And the little guy has not prevailed yet. But a Colorado man. This isn't a.
Is this your buddy? Does your buddy live in Colorado?
No, this is not.
You've never told me where I live.
I wish it was. I can't. It's a secret.
Yeah.
Colorado man, before the season, or 1 week into the season, as a matter of fact, excuse me, bet $50 on Houston to beat the Philadelphia Phillies.
It's a random bet.
That is a very random bet in the World Series. Now, this is not one of those things where, like, if it was one of those things where, because this happens occasionally too, like 2 days ago, there was a glitch on FanDuel, and 10 people were allowed to bet $50 on the Astros winning the World Series at some crazy odds because the computer screwed it up. This isn't that. I give this guy credit. First off, picking Houston and Philadelphia in the World Series a week into the season is a pretty awesome pick.
Yes.
And he deserves to make money off of that if that's what happens. However, there was a glitch, and the odds should have been 250 to 1 at the most, if not less than 250 to 1.
It's still decent odds.
Yeah, he put $50 down. That's 10, 12, 13 grand, something like that.
Yeah.
Quick math. I think that's actually 12,500. Well, yeah, the odds were 2,500 to 1. So if Houston wins, he gets 125 grand.
Yeah. Then they caught the error a little bit later, but okay, well, isn't the obvious now that he's going to win a ton of money? Obviously, if Houston wins, they're the heavy favorite. Don't you have to do the hedge bet?
100%.
You have to. And just to get, you only bet 50, not to get your money back, but what would you bet on the Phillies just to get because you could bet you're going to better odds.
Yes, I know. Well, first off, and I'm not exactly sure if this works this way, but odds are, pun intended, he's not getting 125 grand. He's getting less than that for the squish, whatever the term is.
The juice.
The juice. Thank you.
Squish.
The squish. I don't know. But what I would probably do is I would probably go 25 to 30 grand on the Phillies.
Whoa, that much?
Yeah. That way, here's the thing. That way, I know I'm at least getting 25 to 30 grand. And by the way, the Phillies are the dog.
Yeah.
So
that would probably pay you a little more.
Probably paying 40 to 50.
Yeah, which isn't more than what you get. I didn't think you'd go that high, but still, why not? Guarantee you're winning a good amount of money.
We guarantee you're winning a good amount of money. Either way, you're winning, 50-ish on one hand, probably 75-ish on the other hand. So you know that's coming no matter what. Yeah, if Houston wins, and Houston is absolutely favored in this series, but my gosh, I don't ever want to have the pain. And of course I don't bet, so I've never had the pain. I don't ever want to experience the pain of two things. Number one, for example, let's say I went to Tahoe last month and I put $100 on the Kings to win the title. I don't want to have the pain of the Kings losing in game 6 or 7 or 4 or 5 of the finals. I don't want to have the pain of being excited all year long at my windfall. Oh, by the way, I'm a huge Kings fan. And having any good feelings I had absolutely by a factor of 10 to 100 turn negative in one moment or a gradual moment. I don't want to go through the impending dread, the stress, everything. I mean, really, it takes a toll on you. I don't want to do that. And I also don't want to be one of those people that has a 10-leg parlay and hits 9, and then the 10th. You see that all the time.
Right.
That you hear about the big wins. Of course you do.
Yeah.
You don't hear about for every big win on a parlay, there's 100 that hit all but one of that parlay, and then you lose the whole thing. It's all or nothing. I don't want to do all or nothing on a big bet like that. I want to make sure that I know no matter what, I'm making money off that bet.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I was thinking about the playoff pool. I'm sure there was someone out there that had, let's see, who was the most random team in the baseball postseason? Cleveland, let's say the Guardians, and the Phillies would be up there. I don't know, Padres, whatever team, but the Guardians, let's go Guardians and Phillies World Series.
Sure.
I'm sure someone out there had that, right? As a bet, season-long bet. But we don't hear about that because they didn't win. But that odds would have been great. And that to think about that all year long and then to actually get them in the postseason, and you start to get excited about what you could potentially win, and it's gone.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why there is no doubt, from what I've heard, betting on games makes the games more fun.
Yeah.
It gives you interest in a game that you normally might not have interest in, or it doubles that interest in a game you're already watching.
Yeah. Brent asks us, what's worse, losing the first game on a 10-legger or the last?
The last. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
Because the hope has gone later. You go, oh, man, I would have won had that first game. But you've already given up.
Yes.
Like you're not even thinking down that line anymore.
That's like saying, which is worse, getting married and getting a divorce in your first year, or getting married, having kids, and being married for 10 years and then getting a divorce? For me, you've invested far more time. You have far more ties, blah, 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 blah. Same thing, obviously. And betting and marriage, exactly. It's a perfect comparison by me. We'll take a look at the night in the NBA, including the matchup that should have been in Phoenix last year. We finally got part of it last night, and a shorthanded Pelican team that won in Dallas. We'll get to that next.
Log on to Sactown Sports' YouTube channel following every Kings game this season for the Sactown Sports Kings Recap. Carmichael Dave, Nick Cattles, Rami Makloff, and Chris Watkins interact with you directly after every Kings game all season long. Subscribe now and get notifications by searching for Sactown Sports on YouTube.
Kings get the victory, and the celebration continues
on Sactown Sports, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings.
ATM Mortgage. Hi, this is Jeff Tarbell. Is it time to pack up and leave the Golden State? Whether it's a job change or you just need a change, ATM Mortgage can help with financing for just about any destination you have in mind. You can reach us today at 916-338-9400, 338-9400, or online at atmmortgage.net.
ATM Mortgage.
License under California CFL and MLS 223-4889.
It may not feel like it all the time, but fall is officially here. The weather may be a little uncomfortable right now. 1 minute it's cool and rainy. The next day it's warm and sunny. Get it. But what can make you comfortable inside is knowing your AC or furnace will be working properly and efficiently for whatever temp it is outside. Take advantage of American Energy's $49 AC or furnace 30-point tune-up today. Make sure you and your family are ready for the changing weather. Call American Energy today, 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
My daughter is in middle school, which means my car has to put up with, well, girls opening the door when their nail polish isn't quite dry, or soccer kids kicking the door shut with muddy cleats, or when their school crush shakes up a soda and opens it right in front of my bumper. So you can expect my car to look a mess, but I defy expectations. Thanks to Quick Whack, I don't have to look like middle schoolers are running this show, even though they kind of are. Head to Quick Whack for a shine that lets you defy expectations.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to tap into human emotion, first with some music. Then in a serious tone, I'll say, save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. And even though it was about saving money with Progressive, we'll fade out the music so you know it was poignant. Wow, powerful stuff. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Power Days?
Not only can you save up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs, but you can save thousands more with 2.9% financing for 72 months. As the Fed keeps raising rates, these kinds of low interest rates will be harder to get. Plus, with gas prices soaring, now is the time to replace that old gas guzzler.
Wait, people are still doing that?
We're seeing it too, which is why we're doing what we can to help. Not only do we not have dealer markups, but when you go to HobletDodge.com, you see our true price. No surprise fees or last-minute add-ons. Plus, since we're California's #1 Ram dealer, we have the truck you need at the price that fits your budget.
Hoblet's been known for taking care of its customers for generations. See Hoblet's true pricing now by stopping by the Hoblet Ram Truck Center for a test drive or check out their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
$8,000 total net savings after $3,500 factory rebates and $4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance with Chrysler Capital qualified. Special 2.9% financing for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 15-16 per thousand borrowed. 10 net savings. Highway MVG estimates according to the US EPA estimates. See dealer for details.
At Simply Safe Home Security, your safety is the only thing that matters. So this holiday season, we're giving you 40% off any new system because feeling secure in your home is a gift that everyone deserves. Named Best Home Security of 2022 by U.S. News & World Report, Simply Safe protects your whole home with advanced technology, powered by 24/7 professional monitoring. Visit simplysafe.com/holiday to save 40% today. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
From the four corners of the globe, the world's greatest set their sights on one goal. The Breeders' Cup World Championships are coming to iconic Keeneland this November 4th and 5th. Over 2 days and 14 championship races, the pinnacle of international thoroughbred racing will put the most jaw-dropping, heart-pounding spectacle before your very eyes. Coverage begins Friday on USA and continues Saturday on USA and NBC. Visit breederscup.com/2022 to learn more.
Stimulating conversation about kitchen gadgets and baseball cards.
I think that's really crazy interesting.
It's the Carmichael Day Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
Nance straddling the arc, right side, hand it to CJ. Shot fake. Down low, Larry. There we go. There we go.
Inside, he jabs the ball away from Reggie Jackson. The Scholar loose ball, long lead Shea, sidestepping Howell in transition for the easy right-hand scoop to the hoop, and he scores. That punctuates a 6-0 run. Shea now has 18. Timeout Clippers.
They get the ball into Chris Paul. He's picked up by Wiggins. Paul on the drive. Paul looks, leans, puts up a three. Shazam! And it counts at the buzzer. Oh, brother. CP3. Booker pulls up from 15. The jump shot's a beauty. It's good. So Booker continues to do the job with 24 points on the night.
Moments ago, Klay Thompson has been ejected from this ball game. We talked about him and Devin Booker getting into it. This was the double technical between the two. As Klay is going to the bench, he has words with the official, Ed Malloy, who gives him his second technical and sends him to the locker room. But Candace, as he's walking off,
it looks like he has a few choice words.
2 seconds, 1 second, it's over. Suns win. The Suns win it with an impressive victory over the defending NBA champions by the score of 134 to 105.
The very deserving Al McGuire on the call for the Suns. Very deserving of having his own We've Eaten there, his own part of the media room.
Al McCoy.
Did I say Al McGuire?
You did.
Is that, I was thinking about this the other day. Have I always done, and I don't mean always like on this show, have I always been like that, or am I getting older and doing that more? It was one of those things where I stopped and went, I'm switching a lot of names. Is that a getting older thing? Or was
Remember that time you called Mark Jones Mark Jackson?
Yes. And I remember when I called Pete Rose the home run king, and that was 10 years ago. I mean, yes, I've had my moments. I just wonder if they're increasing. Like,
yeah.
Walking around.
I think there's a lot of reps, right? A lot of opportunities.
And the thing is that you and I've worked together long enough. Remember, I misread it yesterday, but as soon as I said Al McGuire, I saw the kind of perked up.
Yeah.
And by the way, let me just say this for the record, and then we'll move on. I'm the guy that wants to know if there's food in my teeth. Not that you wouldn't ever do it, but please always correct me.
Well, and there's also, there's times where you let it go, or I would say, Al McCoy's press room, and then maybe it was, there's different ways to do it. I know what you mean.
I know you've been in those positions.
Absolutely.
I get it, and everyone's different.
Yeah.
Just for the record publicly, I'm the guy that is fine with being corrected 100 out of 100 times.
Because lots, I know what you meant.
Yes.
I know you know it. It just,
Yes.
I did the other day. I think I told you that off air where on the weekend, it was the first Kings game, and I was thanking our crew and Nate, who was here last week with us, Nate Littlefield. And I just out of nowhere, I'm like, thanks to, Henry Turner, the G-Man, Nate Goodyear, blah, blah. And then he says in my ear, Goodyear? And I'm like, wait, what did I say?
I called Chris Watkins Charles.
Yes.
That's lived for a while. By the way,
I think I noticed these are just all people you guys don't care about, so you don't care about getting their names correctly. The little people, it's fine.
All right. Well, Jerry Marshall in the other room. By the way,
that would be an awful name if I were Jerry Marshall.
Let's remember, by the way, Al McGuire was a fantastic coach,
absolutely,
broadcaster, and the whole deal. Pastor, is it crazy?
I thought that was Dick McGuire.
Nope, that was Al McGuire. I'm looking at it.
Not McGuire, Marco.
No. No, that's Mark McGuire. Al McGuire. Al McGuire's been gone for 21 years.
Is that right? I wouldn't have guessed that long.
At all. Anyways, welcome back. Hello, how are you doing? I'm screwing up names, but the bottom line is this. The whole point of me saying the Al McCoy room is because, once again, I'd like to say, last year, big moment. Gary Joel got verified on Twitter.
Yes.
And then immediately got hacked by crypto people.
Right.
Like
I forgot about that.
The next day, he got hacked by crypto people.
It was during the show. Like, man, Gary's really pawning these, whatever it was they were trying to.
Yes. And I won't share all the off-air stuff, but let me just say I had the honor and privilege of helping Mr. Gerald to go back through, and apparently it was also blocking a lot of people. It blocked like all his friends.
Blocked.
Poor Gary, but he got verified.
Yes.
I would just like to once again renew the call. Can we go ahead and get the Gary Gerald media, something, can we?
Sure.
Be great.
Yeah.
Just
I agree.
Gary Gerald Gary Gerald Court at Golden One Center.
How about that?
Doesn't that sound great?
That would be unbelievable.
And wouldn't it sound better for him to say that every time the bride? Welcome into Gary Gerald Court at Golden One Center.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We need to raise funds. Let me know. Ask Jason to do it. Last night in the NBA was a fun little night. Nothing crazy in there, but this was, you would think, the series that could have been. And Phoenix is now 3-1. Jason, it's way early, but I said it and we talked about it before for the first game of the year. I think something clicked in that Mavs game. Now, they lost to the Trailblazers by 2 since then, but they're 3-1. The Mavs were blowing them off their own home floor, and that's after beating them by 40 or whatever it was in Game 7 last year on their home floor. Something clicked.
Yeah.
And I think the Suns are now back on that, and they're incredibly talented. They're incredibly good, and they still haven't done the Jay Crowder trade yet, which who knows what's going to happen there. I don't think this was a fluke over the Warriors. Now, I'm not saying they'd sweep them or beat them in a 7-game series. The playoffs are different, and let's be honest, part of what Draymond Green said, I do think is true, and it doesn't just apply to not being able to get up for the Kings. I think these guys have also been around the block, and they understand that, okay, they want to win this game. They're competitive, but this is not the playoffs, and they're not going to necessarily go crazy over this.
No, but let's utilize what information we have, and literally a clip we played, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, Draymond Green saying, hey, it's tough to get this engine going.
Yeah.
And I know Sacramento is a reference, but OKC.
Sure.
Houston, pick your team, Detroit.
Yes.
The engine should be going for Phoenix.
Yes.
And my thing on the Warriors is I still think they're great. They're still one of the teams to beat. None of this changed last night. But one thing they can always say, and they should, is, oh, when we've had Steph and Clay and Draymond, we don't lose series. Now, this wasn't a series, but this is one of their worst losses with the three together in a game. I know Clay ultimately got tossed, but why did he get tossed?
Clay was terrible.
He was not playing well. He's getting after it. They're getting agitated. They're barking. They're chirping. He gets tossed. 7 technicals in 1 quarter. So there's been some talk about how the Warriors locker room isn't the same right now. And I think it's been one of the best locker rooms in the league. And I don't know if that's all from Draymond in the past. And, you know, again, they're 2-2, and I think they're going to be just fine.
Sure.
But I just think that's brewing under there. And like a little bit of what might be brewing under the Suns. But when you win and things go well, that can all be put aside for a while. And hopefully you just keep that at bay.
I agree with you. And I think that if this team, this is very important. This team right now is 2-2. Okay, it's early, whatever, fine.
Yeah.
I think the challenge with the Warriors and for Steve Kerr and Bob Myers is the following. We've talked about this a lot, and we always reference the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. Let's say we're 30 games into the season, and the Warriors are, I don't know, 18 and 12, 17 and 13, 16 and 14, maybe, whatever. They're hovering around 500 people. What's wrong with the Warriors? Draymond Green, Jordan Poole. They're going to have to know the difference between there's a real cultural issue in here and we have to take care of it. This team needs a spark, and this is a dynasty. They've won 4 championships and they're coasting right now. And come go time after the All-Star break, they're going to flip that switch. Thing is trade deadline, All-Star break, all that. You've got to know by then which it's going to be and whether they're going to be able to flip that switch. And that's where they'll rely on their leaders. That's when they'll rely on Steph. The problem is that Clay is off to a bad start. And I don't know that you can rely on Draymond Green, because what's he going to say? Yeah, there's a culture issue. It's my fault.
Right.
No, he's going to say, no, everything's fine. We're going to be good. You're going to have to sit Steph down and say, Steph, you got to tell us. And guess what? Steph's going to be in a position where in his mind, he's arguably going to decide the fate and future of a guy who has been his enforcer and his teammate for 4 championships. And that is looming for the Warriors if they're in a goofy situation.
Yeah. Well, and apparently, I don't know this for 100% fact, but I think he was one of his supporters in this whole situation that just went through. So if he's already kind of stepped in front of that once.
Right.
You would think he would stay in that same path. But,
yes, but you also might have said, Dre, this is the last time.
Right.
This is the last time, dude. I stood by you when you kicked the dude in the junk. I'm standing by you now. But this is it, dude.
Yeah.
So a report has the Giants going after Aaron Judge. How real is it? And does it make sense from a Giants perspective? We'll talk about it next.
From the draft to free agency to the summer league to the games that matter the most.
It's good, and it's pandemonium at Golden One Center.
When it comes to the Kings, nobody has you covered like Sactown Sports, your local sports leader.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Sacramento area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com.
on local issues like crime, high costs, and homelessness. Angelique Ashby.
There's only one candidate with a proven record of independence and working across the aisle to find common sense solutions. That's also Angelique Ashby.
There's only one person endorsed by firefighters and police because of her proven track record fighting for public safety. And once again, that's Angelique Ashby.
And there's only one candidate who's a community activist and who's not indebted to the insiders and special interests. Yep, Angelique Ashby.
She's the only one who stands up and stands out. The one who's different from the career politicians just looking for the next office to run for.
Angelique Ashby. She's the only one with the courage to fight for us.
Ad paid for by Californians to protect local jobs and communities. Sponsored by Hawaiian Gardens Casino. Committee major funding from Hawaiian Gardens Casino. Not authorized by a candidate or a committee controlled by a candidate.
Your back-to-back Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are back in action at home this Saturday, October 29th, against the Idaho Vandals. It's homecoming, so arrive early for the homecoming festivities and the tailgate. Plus, post-game fireworks will light up the sky. Don't miss the excitement of Sacramento State football this season as your Hornets aim for another Big Sky championship. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
It's true, the best new cars make the best used cars. That's why you'll always find a great selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Trade up to a car you'll love. We have a great selection of one-owner, low-mile vehicles you can drive home today. When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's Carmichael Day for my good friend Shelby and everybody over at refinanceWithShelby.com. Home equity is the best way for you to build up and pass on wealth. The Equity Builder program happening right now gives first-time home buyers a head start on this with immediate equity in the home via a loan of up to 10% of the purchase price. Now, here's the deal. The loan is completely forgiven if you live in the house as your primary residence for 5 years. Think about that. A $450,000 home. You make about 80 grand. You get 45 grand down as part of the Equity Builder program, and you live in the home for 5 years, boom, the loan is gone. You got to be a first-time home buyer. You got to occupy the property as your primary residence. That's about it. Couple of other things, and you're good to go. That's it. Go to refinanceWithShelby.com. It's a no-brainer. It's the best way to get into this market. RefinanceWithShelby.com. NMLS number 279051. BRE number 01864354.
At Simply Safe Home Security, your safety is the only thing that matters. So this holiday season, we're giving you 40% off any new system because feeling secure in your home is a gift that everyone deserves. Named Best Home Security of 2022 by U.S. News & World Report, Simply Safe protects your whole home with advanced technology, powered by 24/7 professional monitoring. Visit simplysafe.com/holiday to save 40% today. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
From the four corners of the globe, the world's greatest set their sights on one goal. The Breeders' Cup World Championships are coming to iconic Keeneland this November 4th and 5th. Over 2 days and 14 championship races, the pinnacle of international thoroughbred racing will put the most jaw-dropping, heart-pounding spectacle before your very eyes. Coverage begins Friday on USA and continues Saturday on USA and NBC. Visit breederscup.com/2022 to learn more.
Check out nationally ranked Sacramento State football this Saturday night versus Idaho. 6 p.m. kickoff at Hornet Stadium. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
The flagship.
Ball game, Sacramento wins.
KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports 1140. The flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. Sactown Sports headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The San Francisco Giants will reportedly be in pursuit of Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge this offseason, according to a report from NJ.com. According to one source, Judge is at the top of the Giants list, and they won't be underbid. The Sacramento-born Judge grew up in Linden, California as a huge San Francisco Giants fan. Klay Thompson did something in his career that he's never done last night. The Warriors 134-105 lost to the Suns in Phoenix.
Moments ago, Klay Thompson has been ejected from this ballgame. We talked about him and Devin Booker getting into it. This was the double technical between the two. As Klay is going to the bench, he has words with the official, Ed Malloy, who gives him his second technical and sends him to the locker room.
The game featured 7 technical fouls in the third quarter alone, which tied an NBA record for most technical fouls in a quarter over the last 25 seasons, according to Elias Sports Bureau research. Boston Celtics forward Jaylen Brown and LA Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald both announced on Tuesday that they're leaving Donda Sports, the sports agency founded by the artist formerly known as Kanye West, due to anti-Semitic comments that the Grammy Award-winning artist recently made. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
Hey, Dave.
Jason.
Did you know that all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline? Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
What?
And we do have guests coming up today.
Yeah, we do.
Our guest.
Kayte Christensen.
1 hour from now.
1 hour from now. Kayte, who turned me down for a date last night.
Really?
Yep. It's a true story. Had an extra ticket to go see The Hoop.
Who?
The Hoop.
Oh.
And wife can't go. So that's generally when Kayte will step in, go with a couple of friends.
When's the show?
Ours. Tonight.
Oh. I thought you. Oh, she turned you down last night for tonight.
Yeah. No, she turned me down yesterday for tonight.
Okay.
I'm just busy. She went with me. We went to go see Roger Waters. And we were both like, it's loud. The Who. I love Roger Waters, but this is The Who.
Yeah.
Come on, man. But, if it was some random country star, she'd
be there. Yeah.
But, she's like, I don't even know if I know any Who songs. I'm like, yes, you do.
Right.
Trust me when I say you know Who songs. But, whatever. So she has, thank goodness she has enough time to visit with us today at 8 o'clock.
We'll see if she turns us down.
That's well, maybe she's not brought to you by anyone if she doesn't show up.
Yeah, good point.
That's at 8 o'clock. Speaking of being turned down, as of right now, I can report this. KHTK has learned that Aaron Judge has not turned down the Giants.
But he's not accepted them either.
Well, that's I can't confirm that
Yeah.
part. There's a story in NJ.com. I believe stands for New Jersey.com, which is near New York. It's talking about Aaron Judge. And the writer, Randy Miller, who does a nice job with this article, said that Aaron Judge, after the last game of the season, answered questions for 11 minutes. When the questions were cut off by the media relations guy, Judge left the area in the middle of the clubhouse, started towards his locker. And he was stopped by a beat reporter. A few words were said. They shook hands. Then another reporter approached. Then another. Next thing you know, this went on past 1:10 in the morning, 1:20, 1:25, while other teammates were doing their media. At one point, according to the article, a half a dozen writers waited in line to have a one-on-one quickly with Judge, which is not usual. One reporter said it's Aaron Judge's reception line. At one point, according to the report, Judge said to a reporter, I'll see you somewhere down the road. And NJ.com says perhaps that will be opening day 2023 at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. Against
San Francisco
Giants.
Giants. Yeah. This is, I maintain, I will stick with, I just can't see the New York Yankees letting Aaron Judge walk. If this was the Royals, if this was the Rangers, even if this was the Marlins, he's gone. It's the Yankees. I can't see it.
I'm trying to. So can we start with the Giants side of things? Because we talked about this a little bit earlier. Totally understand why they would want Aaron Judge. When you hear words about phrasing, they will not be outbid.
Yeah.
Boy, that sounds like, hey, we're going to do whatever. Like, this is our guy. We're desperate. We're going to get him at whatever cost. Well, it's going to be a huge financial asking price.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense for the Giants. Of course you want talent like that. But what you had said earlier, if the pot is, we'll just throw a number, $300 million. Sure. I don't even know if that's accurate.
Sure.
What else can you get for $300 million when you're a team that scuffled for 500 this year? When you were great a year ago, that feels like the outlier at the moment. as opposed to this year being the outlier. You need more help than Aaron Judge.
Yes.
You'd take Aaron Judge.
Of course.
So for their side of things, I get it, but I also feel like, are you still the third best team in your own? Or you're behind the Dodgers if you get Aaron Judge. You're behind probably the Padres if you get Aaron Judge. Still might be behind the Mets, Braves, Phillies are in the World Series.
Yes.
Then Aaron Judge's side of things, okay, you're going to get paid, whether it's the Cubs, Dodgers, Giants, Yankees, whoever you want to go to. What's best for him? I get the Northern California connection.
Yeah.
If Aaron Judge had the same year he just had in San Francisco, it's not played bigger than it was in New York.
Not.
He's not even breaking the team record.
No, and it's not played bigger anywhere. It's not played bigger in LA.
Right.
There is no state.
Now would he like? Maybe he likes that.
And that's the thing. Maybe one of the points they made in here, Jason, that you bring up that rang in my head a little bit extra was he might just want out of the Yankee fishbowl.
Mm-hmm.
He might just want to spend the next half of his career not in toiling in obscurity,
right? Which he wouldn't with the Giants.
There's no fishbowl like New York.
Right,
There's
correct.
No San Francisco media, for example.
Yeah.
But LA media is nothing compared to New York or Philly media.
Yeah, and while he was chasing down let's remember what the record was the American League record.
Right.
Now we can argue the merits of whether or not the other guys, performance enhancing, so on and so forth. But he basically broke a Yankee record, an American League record, and it was really followed and chronicled. But if he had 62 home runs with the Giants, it would be equally amazing. But he would be 11 behind Barry Bonds,
right? Yeah, and if that's important to him, he's never going to be. Listen, no matter where he goes, Aaron Judge on his Hall of Fame plaque, he's almost certainly going to be a Yankee. This is just he's at the I wouldn't say at the cherry part of his career on the sundae, but I'd say he's on the nuts, whipped cream, and cherry, and maybe caramel sauce.
Yeah.
Like the ice cream is his career with the Yankees. He's not old, but he is well into his prime.
Yeah.
What, 30?
I think he's 30. Yeah.
30, so going to be 31 at some point next season.
But if we take the other franchise-esque long-term contract guys, that some are in big Trout, Pujols was, Betts, Bryce Harper, all great players.
Yes.
They're not in New York.
No.
It's not the same kind of attention. Again, maybe he doesn't want that, but
I don't think he does.
Okay.
He doesn't seem like that. And whether it's you want it or you certainly can handle it, like Derek Jeter was made for New York.
Yeah.
He was made for the Yankees. He was all over that. You've had folks many times throughout the years with the Yankees understand, hey, I'm wearing the pinstripes. I'm wearing the same uniform that Don Mattingly and Mickey Mantle and Whitey Ford and Joe DiMaggio and Babe Ruth wore. This is beyond. This is legendary.
Yeah.
This is legacy. I don't know that Aaron Judge necessarily brings or cares about that as much.
He's got to know he's going to get the money of choice.
Right.
So what are the other factors? Yankees have been in the playoffs every year. The Giants have not.
Correct.
Though the Giants have won more World Series since 2010 than the Yankees haven't won one since then.
Won one. Aaron Judge hasn't won one.
No.
And that might be an important thing.
But I feel like the Yankees are a lot closer than the Giants.
I completely agree with you.
Now that could change over time.
Sure.
But does he want to be at home? Does he want to be in California? There's good for that. There's bad with that. Right. I don't know what his factors are, because the money, he's going to get a ton of it from whoever wants him.
The problem there too, Jason, and I'm speaking as a Giants fan now, I will reiterate, would I like to have Aaron Judge on the team? 1,000,000,000%. I think he'd look amazing in orange and black, and I think he'd represent the club well, and I think he'd be a welcome power hitter in the middle of the lineup. But it's not, if Aaron Judge wants to sign for $20 million a year for 3 years, I'm all over it. That's not the case. Aaron Judge is going to want to sign for, again, I think the starting point is what, 350, 300, somewhere in there. Yeah, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
So it's not a question of, do you want Aaron Judge? It's a question of, as a Giants fan, do you want Aaron Judge for that type of money? Now, Aaron Judge is not, roids or not, Aaron Judge is not the player Barry Bonds was. And the last time the Giants went out and took a massive swing, it was Barry Bonds. That was the Aaron Judge back then, but there was much more to him. And you know what? Again, the San Francisco Giants have experienced championship success 3 times, but with one stretch of teams. And you know what? That wasn't the team with Barry Bonds.
Right.
That was the team led by Buster Posey and Brandon Crawford and Pablo Sandoval and Brandon Belt.
Yeah. Lincecum, Mad Bum, Kane. Yeah.
Right. And you know what? They all were homegrown.
Yes.
That doesn't mean they didn't have accoutrements around them.
Right.
That doesn't mean that we haven't done a Chris Bryant thing before and blah, 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 blah. That was the core. They tried the Barry Bonds thing, and that's not what it was. They went ahead and got arguably, I think, I've always thought this, take any of the Giants World Series teams and you put them against the 2002 Giants with Bonds and Kent and Russ Ortiz. Dude, in my mind, that 0-2 team is better on paper. It's a better team, but it's not.
Right.
Because
no ring.
Right. Because in baseball, there are the Guardians in the world in the playoffs. There are the Tampa Bay Rays who have a ton of talent, but still are not. You can't just, as the Mets saw, as the Dodgers see all the time, you can't just buy your way into it. So I would rather them build with, I would rather get 3 A- $100 million deals than 1 $300 million deal, because they need that kind of help.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it's interesting too to see where, when they made the swing, you talked about the big swing for Bonds. I think it made a lot of sense a couple years ago when they made the big swing for Bryce Harper, where he was an age. Now they didn't land him, but they were all in on him.
Sense.
And I go, okay, that you're going to have him for 10, 15 years.
Yes.
They didn't get him. Judge is in a different spot.
If this was Mookie Betts, guy like that, all over it.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. Who's got the most surprising start in the NBA? We've talked about it this week. Jay Mars is going to throw his hat in the ring for the most surprising start. Christian McCaffrey being a dual threat for the Niners. But which threat will happen more on the field this year? Count to 60. We're back with 3.
You want Kings talk?
I'm a diehard Kings fan.
There's nowhere else you need to go but here. Kings games, Kings interviews, Kings breaking news, Kings coverage. Nobody has it all but us. Sactown Sports, your local sports leader.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Question 1.
Kayte Christensen joins us at 8 o'clock. We'll look at some early season NBA numbers here in about 14 minutes right now. It is Jay Mars. It is 3 for Madness.
I like to call it the 3 for Madness corner store, and I'm the manager.
Yes, you are. You're in charge.
Yeah, any sales?
No, not today.
Okay.
We save those for Black Friday coming up here in a few weeks.
Gotcha.
More surprising 3-1 NBA start. The Jazz of Salt Lake City, Utah, or the Spurs of San Antonio, Texas?
That's a great question. They're both incredible. Who had the Blazers, Jazz, and Spurs starting the year a combined 10-2?
I'm sure someone on our YouTube chat will say they had it.
I did. There is no reason.
Been trying to tell you, Josh Richardson, super underrated move last year's deadline for Spurs. Trying to tell you, bro.
There is no reason.
Will Hardy, bro.
For the Spurs to be 3-1. There's
Jimmy Grant, bro.
No reason for the Utah Jazz to be 3-1. I will say this. I'm impressed with both. I'm shocked with both. I'm going to give it to Utah only because of strength of win. The Spurs' one loss came to the Hornets, and that's without LaMelo Ball. That was opening night, and that was by 27. And that was at home. Then they go to Indiana. They beat the Pacers by 3, but everybody's going to beat the Pacers. They went into Philly and beat them by 9.
That was nice.
Then they went into Minnesota and they beat them by 9. They're playing weirdly enough against Minnesota again tonight in Minnesota. Those things are so weird. Minnesota.
It always seems like it's Minnesota.
It does. It does. And it's not like there aren't, the Pacers, the Bucks. There's other teams around the Bulls in that vicinity.
Right.
Anyways, I'm going to say Utah, but listen, I almost feel like Utah actually has more talent.
They do
than San Antonio.
Yeah,
but I think Utah also has an more impressive resume.
Yeah, I'm going to say Utah as well. My reasoning behind Utah is this feels like when the Spurs were at their prime and then they didn't play anybody and they would still win. They've got a great coach.
Yes.
And a system that they know that. So, I mean, I think anytime we see, the Spurs are stripping down their roster, they're going all in on Wembanyama.
Right.
They've got a really good coach and a culture that has won for years. So I think sometimes we jump the gun on some of those predictions. And I still think by the end, they're going to have a rough year.
Right.
But here they are 3-1. I think the more surprise to me is Utah for sure.
Number 2.
Question 2.
Will Christian McCaffrey have more rushing yards or receiving yards as a 49er the rest of the season?
Rushing.
Wow.
I think so. I mean, I don't know what, that doesn't mean that Kyle Shanahan won't, leave it to Kyle Shanahan. He'll make Christian McCaffrey Wes Welker, for the rest of the season at some point.
I looked at that more as not leave it to Kyle Shanahan, leave it to Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, ooh, I can only have to throw the ball 2 yards. Yay!
Yeah, here you go. But I think ultimately, listen, Chris McCaffrey is wonderful at receiving, but that is attached to his running, and I think they're going to give him a shot. And I think Trent Williams and the rest of that offensive line hopefully gets a lot healthier. He's going to have a blast running behind them.
He is. I mean, there were just a few moments that he got the carry, especially the first couple. He went, wow. Like he's still super quick.
Yeah.
They had huge running lanes for him. I think this is going to work out really well for him and for the offense. But yeah, if I'm going to pick one, I guess passing I'll lean towards because generally it's a little bit further downfield. You've already getting the boost of the yards, catch and run after that. But yeah, I think it's going to end up being really close between the two.
I absolutely agree.
Which is a good thing for the 49ers offense.
It is too. And when Elijah Mitchell comes back, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with Mitchell, McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle.
You'd have to imagine also Mitchell has to be pretty close to a return, seeing that they just released Tevin Coleman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who had 2 touchdowns in his debut.
He did.
And then where did he go? Because he's with them now. Like he's on their squad. Was it not the Bears? Rams? Tevin Coleman went to some team and is now on their team.
The Rams would make sense given
the practice squad
running issues.
All right, number 3.
Question 3.
Who is your favorite movie character of all time?
Dude, I'm struggling with this, man. There's just it's like picking between your kids. I don't know.
Can I tell you how the genesis of this question?
I really wanted to know.
So last night, flipping around, trying to figure out, let's watch a movie. Let's watch something.
Yeah.
So going through on demand or whatever, find some things like that. Wait, what? What is this? I had heard about them making this. John Hamm is playing Fletch. Confess Fletch is a new movie that's out, and I don't know if it's just
such a Fletch guy.
I love that character. Now he's different than Chevy Chase, but he's still got the sarcasm I just went, I love this character.
There's
just
a big shoes to fill too.
Investigative reporter, never uses his real name, and then he's always into something and sarcasm and just the dry. And I went, I just love Fletch. Now there was also rumors when this movie was coming out before that was going to be Ryan Reynolds, who I think fits that pocket really well. But John Hamm was good. I go, I love Fletch.
Yes.
So that's where the question came from. So for me, it's Fletch.
I'm also enjoying John Hamm in those progressive
commercials. Oh my God, I hate him in the progressive. I hate the progressive commercials, period.
Okay, so is it more that than you hate John Hamm?
I just think like we're doing John Hamm a disservice by these commercials. Like the commercials suck.
Wow.
You don't like
I hate those
Flo?
commercials. They're terrible.
It's it's not Flo, it's the other guy that really bothers me.
Jamie.
You know what we should do one day is like a Mount Rushmore of current commercial pitch people, like Flo and what's her face from the AT&T.
Lily.
Yeah, Lily's great.
On
I like Lily.
Those are great jobs to get.
Oh my God, seriously,
like life-changing money, right?
I can, dude. I can tell you this.
I'd be a great pitch guy.
When my brother-in-law got the State Farm French model gig, that thing and that commercial took off, and the hope was like this would become a recurring thing, and I still can't believe it didn't because that commercial played forever. And I asked him one time, Like, dude, seriously, how much did you make off of this? I'm not going to say, but oh my God. Like, seriously, oh my God.
So
like,
imagine now Lily and Flo, who are in all these constant commercials.
Yes. They are rich. Yeah. My favorite movie role of all time is Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday.
Okay.
My favorite recurring character, it's tough, dude. It's because like Indy Jones, Luke Skywalker, all that.
That's great.
I got to go with Axel Foley.
That's a good choice.
I love Axel Foley. I love the Beverly Hills Cops. I do. He is awesome.
I was going to put James Bond on there too.
I mean,
I like James Bond.
But so here's the thing.
There's different people.
Do you get all the James Bondses?
Yeah, because generally, for the most part, I mean, I just like the premise, the actual, who James Bond is, and then I think there's been better versions of him, but like this is Fletch. Like I just like Chevy Chase's Fletch. John Hamm has been good.
Sure,
but yeah,
I'm not like a huge movie guy, so my answer is a little cliche. I love
Turtles?
Rocky still.
Okay.
No, I think Rocky Balboa from the very first Rocky through Creed 2, the way they've evolved the character, I thought is really good. He's always endearing. Like, I even liked him in Rocky 5, despite the fact that the movie was terrible. The actual character is still great.
Yes.
But the movie sucked. I've always just, if a Rocky movie is on, sans Rocky 5,
right,
I turn it on.
And Rocky 1.
Yeah.
I struggle with Rocky 1. It's a wonderful movie. It's
I
just
saw that one.
It's a slow burn.
It's a slow movie.
Especially if you've gotten used to the others, and then that you go back and watch that, you're like, not the same. Though it won the Academy Award.
Yeah, right. It's probably the best movie out of all of them, but it's not most watchable.
Yeah.
No, Rocky 4 is the most watchable. Did you guys ever watch the director's cut that he put out a year ago? It's pretty good.
Yeah, I need to.
It's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Any others?
I mean, I loved Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption.
It's a one-off.
Ace Ventura is great. There's
they're not going to do that again. Austin Powers.
They will at some point. Austin Powers is great.
And you guys have a female? Because we've talked about all males. Female character? No.
Are there many female recurring characters?
Beyonce in Austin Powers. She was great.
Yeah, but like they get multiple.
Well, she was.
That's what you come up with.
I'm just saying. I was already thinking of Austin Powers.
Like, are there many female, that have multiple?
Scarlett Johansson in the Marvel movies
you're right.
as
Okay.
Black Widow is really good. I don't know. What's her face? What was it? Bridesmaids, Melissa.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, she was wonderful.
That's a good character.
What was the other one? Eddie Murphy and the Golden Child, but that's just me. That's two Eddie Murphy characters. And I just had it until you brought up the ladies. Damn it! I had another one. It was Robert Langdon in the all the Dan Brown movies. Tom Hanks as Robert Langdon in the Da Vinci Codes and all that. I love those movies. I love them. I love the book.
I've never seen them, but I've been tempted to watch them.
I think they're fun.
Nick Cage, National Treasure.
That's it. You know what?
No,
that's a great. I mean that's arguably his best role. Arguably his best role, whereas Face Off is his worst.
Oh, how dare you? Con Air.
I hate that movie.
You hate Face Off?
How do you hate Face Off?
Because it's
an American treasure.
A trash movie. Dude.
No,
it's a trash movie. I'll give you that, but it's so trash it's likable.
Yeah, let's just at some point let's have a conversation about. Oh, how does anybody not know that I'm him and I'm him and it's
called modern technology,
it's
bro.
The most unfathomable movie ever. Not even in the world of movies.
What do you mean? My face going on to yours is not real.
It's not even just that. It's
Pastor Troy.
Early in the season. But let's take some look at some early numbers that may shed some light on the Sacramento Kings start. We'll do that next.
Your home for the most comprehensive 49ers coverage. Debo, Bosa, to our very own Armstead. The 49ers Authority, Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports. Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by RC Willey Home Furnishings.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is Tuesday. You're out that door to a cool start. Grab those layers before you step outside and grab the shades. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon with highs today in the low 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
You already know RC Willey has a vast selection of home furnishings. But did you know they also have an outlet inside the store with clearance savings on closeouts, one-of-a-kind, and discontinued items? RC Willey, located in Rockland and South Sacramento.
It may not feel like it all the time, but fall is officially here. The weather may be a little uncomfortable right now. 1 minute it's cool and rainy. The next day it's warm and sunny. Get it. But what can make you comfortable inside is knowing your AC or furnace will be working properly and efficiently for whatever temp it is outside. Take advantage of American Energy's $49 AC or furnace 30-point tune-up today. Make sure you and your family are ready for the changing weather. Call American Energy today, 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Life is full of choices. When buying a car, there's only one choice. Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Choose from our great selection and get top dollar for your trade. Pre-order today in person, online, over the phone, with no contract and no deposit necessary. Then simply pick it up when it arrives.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Sore feet? Aching back? Even plantar fasciitis? Come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto.
Check out nationally ranked Sacramento State football this Saturday night versus Idaho. 6 p.m. kickoff at Hornet Stadium. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Sactown Sports headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The San Francisco Giants will reportedly be in pursuit of Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge this offseason, according to a report from NJ.com. According to one source, Judge is at the top of the Giants list, and they won't be underbid. The Sacramento-born Judge grew up in Linden, California as a huge San Francisco Giants fan. Klay Thompson did something in his career that he's never done last night in the Warriors' 134-105 loss to the Suns in Phoenix.
Moments ago, Klay Thompson has been ejected from this ballgame. We talked about him and Devin Booker getting into it. This was the double technical between the two. As Klay is going to the bench, he has words with the official, Ed Malloy, who gives him his second technical and sends him to the locker room.
The game featured 7 technical fouls in the third quarter alone, which tied an NBA record for most technical fouls in a quarter over the last 25 seasons, according to Elias Sports Bureau research. Boston Celtics forward Jaylen Brown and LA Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald both announced on Tuesday that they're leaving Donda Sports, the sports agency founded by the artist formerly known as Kanye West, due to anti-Semitic comments that the Grammy Award-winning artist recently made. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Stimulating conversation about kitchen gadgets and baseball cards.
I think that's really crazy interesting.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
Text line lit up with the favorite movie character stuff. We don't have time to get into all that with Kayte coming on in about a half an hour. But Whoopi Goldberg, the sister Mary Clarence.
Okay. But didn't we find the answer in the break?
We did. Jason, go ahead.
Frank Drebin.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yes. Naked Gun series. And really it was an offshoot of that, I think, on Airplane. That character, that style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You good? Okay.
Yep.
But I think that's a good one.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
What do you think, Jay?
I don't know if you're having a moment or you're like, okay, I can cover for
you.
Yes.
You're good. Go
Sure.
ahead. Just also on the text line, National Treasure series coming to Disney Plus.
Oh.
Yeah,
series?
if it doesn't have a series, if it doesn't, I understand the concept. If it doesn't have Nicolas Cage, then if it doesn't have Nicolas Cage, it doesn't count. Also,
that's high praise.
A New Beverly Hills Cop, and
they've been teasing a new Beverly Hills Cop movie for I feel like 30 years.
I've seen pictures of them shooting it.
Does it have Ed Murphy?
Yes, I've seen.
Ed Murphy's in it?
There's pictures of them actually shooting.
We also have Creed 3 sans Sylvester Stallone coming out.
Well, they said there's another Creed, but honestly, if it doesn't have Scott Stapp in it, I don't want to see it. as a creed.
Yeah, I got it.
With arms wide.
No, I was more angry than anything else. Talk basketball.
Jason, you made basketball notes. And for people that don't know, Jason is really the executive producer of our show prep each and every day and does such a wonderful job. And we add in accoutrements and this and that, whatever. But it's Jason's brainchild more often than not. And you did some research last night. And I want to make sure it doesn't sound like I'm pawning off your work on, for example, defense and Golden State in particular without Mike Brown.
Yeah, well, so look, the Kings just came off a game where they gave up historically their worst half they've ever had in Sacramento. Yes. Defense has been a point of emphasis, and I'm not here to say they figured it out because statistically they really haven't. Right now, just factually, where the Kings land through 4 games, they are or 3 games for them. They're 23rd. We said, hey, what would it be like if the Kings were 20th?
Right.
15th, 18th, 20th? They've been 28, 29, 30 the last couple of years. Again, long way to go. They're 23rd. So, not great, little better. I don't think anybody's going, this is vastly improved, but okay, whatever. Maybe subtly, who knows? But they are coming off a really bad defensive game. So then I did a little looking around and also watched the Warriors. I go, wait, the Kings scored a ton on the Warriors. Even in that first half where the Kings gave up 89, the Kings had 71. Last night, Phoenix goes for more than 70. The game before that, Denver had more than 70 in the first half. The Warriors now are second to last in the league in defense. Well, this is 4 games, not a big sample, but their defensive guru was Mike Brown.
Right.
So he's gone. They're now 29th in the league. These are the champs. And we always said, well, the Kings don't have a great defensive player.
Right.
The Warriors do. He's playing.
Yes.
Draymond's there.
Yes, he is.
All the core people, like, this is a team that there's not, hey, they haven't been together. They've been together. So that's interesting that they are that far down at the moment. Again, that can switch over time. But Memphis, who was the 2 seed last year, Denver, who was a great team last year, that's 28, 29, and 30 is Memphis, Golden State, and Denver right now in the bottom 3 defensively in the league.
That's, I think, what's really amazing. And that's why also I don't put a lot of stock in it, because early on.
Yeah, we're 1 week old. That's it.
And you see, like, it takes time, I think. Offense always wins the day in the beginning of the year because everyone's kind of locking in on defense. But I think it does say something. I really do think it says something when the worst defensive team in the league is Denver.
Yeah.
The second worst is the Warriors. The third worst is the Grizzlies. The fourth worst is the Nets. Now, the Nets being the exception because there's still a lot of question about them. Those are 3 teams that are not just bona fide playoff teams.
Yeah.
They're bona fide contenders.
Right. The other thing, too, I think we need to probably do, and this has been happening for about 2 seasons now, this will be the 3rd if I'm not mistaken, is maybe change the numbers in our head. And what I mean by that is I think you and I could be doing a show in, I don't know, March, and the Kings play Orlando or something and say, you can't give up 110 points to Orlando and expect to win. I think the number needs to change. If I just said 110, which seems like a decent amount of points, 110 right now, again, only 1 week old, 110 would put you 11th defensively in the league. Points allowed. So there's one right now in the entire league that's less than 100, and it's Milwaukee. They're the only team in the league that's played 2 games. So, I mean, I like to they play their 3rd tonight.
Right.
Let's get them 3 or 4 games, which still isn't the largest sample size. But 110, you'd in the top 15 in the league.
And that's where I think for me, Jason, and I would think most people should, if they haven't already, adopt this line. They can give 187, but if they're around 15th in the league, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
where do they fit in with the league?
Because the league scoring is going to fluctuate up and down, mostly up lately because of rules. And lately, I mean, the last decade plus. But again, if the Kings, listen, I'm not entirely stoked about them being, what did you say they are, 24th?
Right now they are 23rd. 23rd.
Yeah, but 23rd, if you told me they were 23rd at the end of the year, I'd say, okay.
That's better.
But that's certainly, I would like to see them be top 20.
Yeah, but if it's 23rd and they are a playoff team,
yes, great.
Great.
If it's 30th and they're a playoff team.
Yeah, that's true,
but
too.
Yeah, to your point.
But we know they've made it a point. Yes. And they've worked on it. And I think you can see parts of it. But my point would be this too. The 89 is unacceptable. Yes. And I know it is. I know they know it is. Can you limit those? Can you have so again, I think the Warriors are a good defensive team.
Yes.
Here they are, second to last right now. Gave up 135 to the Suns, a bunch of points to the Kings. Their 2 wins right now are the Kings and the Lakers.
Right.
Okay, their losses are Denver and Phoenix. So you got to go through the whole thing. You got to get through a bunch of games to get a better sample of things. But for the Kings to have one bad half, they've had more than that, but to have a horrendous half against the Warriors, can you make that a bad quarter? Can you turn that into a bad 5 minutes? Can you shrink all these things where you go, hey, the last 2 games, they've been good defensively? Or, hey, this is a 2-game stretch of good defense as opposed to the last 10 games they've been awful. Like, they've got to just shrink all those bad minutes, and they haven't done that yet.
I've never been able to find the secret sauce on this, because when you I've heard from many a player and coach that sometimes the best defense is a good offense, in the sense that when your offense is clicking, you make your baskets.
Mm-hmm.
When you make your baskets, the very simple practice of the opposing team having to inbound the ball, it should greatly change transition points. It allows your defense to get back to set itself, and statistics show the difference between being in a transition fast break situation on defense and having your defense set up. It's just a night and day thing.
Right.
So when you get a situation like the Kings, and let's take away the Warriors for a second. Kings scored 36 points against the Warriors in the first quarter. The Kings had 71 in the first half. The Kings had 94 through 3 quarters against the Warriors.
A lot of time that's going to win you a game.
Yes, if you'd have told me, if you tell me the Kings are going to score 71 points a half, I'm like, oh my God, that's what a wonderful offense.
Yeah. But you can't give up 89.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
They're giving up 89, but the Warriors are also giving up 71. So does that tell you that both teams just didn't care about defense in that game? Did that tell you a little bit that both offenses were on fire? We talked about this ad nauseum in the offseason, especially after the moves were complete. Offense should almost certainly not be this team's problem. They have shooters. De'Aaron's on fire. This is with Harrison, Malik Monk, and even Domantas Sabonis having issues to start the year, and they're still having this type of offense. But can they play defense?
Right. Well, I think that's the other thing about last year that was kind of underreported. They were awful defensively. They've been there. That's a fact. They weren't a top 10 offense, though. Like, I think in other years we go, man, this is a top 10 offense with the bottom defense. Last year they were about 20th, I think it was 18. I can't remember the exact number, but they were not in the top half offensively. No. So when you're not that and you're awful defensively, I mean, you're just not going to win games. So I think still their strength is going to be their offense, obviously. But if they can be a top 10 offense with an improved defense, that's their formula. They just, we're not there yet.
So now they come into a situation, or they come into a contest tomorrow against the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
They're 3-1.
Who, again, 29th defensively.
Right, exactly.
Or 28th.
28th. This should be a crazy high game. I don't know what the over-under is, but I imagine it's going to be insane. I don't know. I'm not Mr. as anyone who has listened to me for 5 seconds knows. I'm not Mr. Optimism,
Mm-hmm.
Especially with this club. I really need to see on Thursday. I don't know that they're going to beat the Grizzlies, and I can tell you they will not be favored to beat the Grizzlies. They will certainly not be favored to beat the Grizzlies. But I have a funny feeling this is a funny game. I 100% could see this being their first win of the year. I really, really could.
Be a great win if they did.
It would be a great win. I like some of these matchups for the Kings. I think they've had some days to sit and practice and think and go over things. Now that may not bear fruit. It may not bear fruit. And honestly, the Grizzlies are already here. They're already downtown. Their last game was 2 days ago against the Nets at home. So they will by tomorrow, they will have had 3 days off, almost as long as the Kings. So these will be 2 rested teams. I'm looking for a good effort from them tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if they won the ball game. We will take a break. When we come back, practice yesterday We have King's Audio. We have Mike Brown. We have De'Aaron Fox talking about Harrison Barnes' struggles, I should say, and more. We'll do that next.
Breaking news, the latest happenings with your favorite teams.
You ever wonder about what the heck all these kids are doing on computers all the time?
Stay up to date with all of it by following us on Instagram and Twitter.
Excuse me, gentlemen, a little update for you.
At Sactown 1140.
I'm in the great outdoors doing a little Dodge watching with Vince Bloom, the big guy at Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge.
Would you look at that?
Those are some pretty high-powered binoculars you got there, Vince.
Yeah, I use them to spot all the Lasher license plates on Ram trucks out there.
Well, there's bound to be a lot because this month during Ram Power Days, you're offering $10,750 off MSRP on over 20 new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s.
That's a great deal. I know. Hold on. I see another one.
Another crew cab?
I think so.
Odds are it's another Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 because in addition to $10,750 off MSRP, you're also offering 0% financing for 48 months.
Oh, he's taking off.
You lose him, Vince?
Oh, no. Just another happy customer migrating back to Elk Grove Dodge.
Save $10,750 off over 20 new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. Plus, get 0% financing for 48 months.
Only at Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge and the Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com.
Includes $5,250 in California and Chrysler Capital bonus and retail bonus cash. On approved credit, 0% APR for 48 months is $20.83 per $1,000 borrowed. Sample VIN 395796 ends 10/31/22.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. What's going on, Chad, for Ram Power Days?
There's a reason we're California's #1 Ram truck dealer. You won't find a better selection of heavy-duty trucks in Northern California. Plus, right now, save up to $5,000 off MSRP on new Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cabs. Not $5,000 over MSRP, it's $5,000 off.
Okay, but what about those tradesman Rams that are the perfect work truck?
We have those on sale, too, with up to $3,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cabs. Plus, we work the deal to get extra heavy duty so you can get the work truck you need today instead of waiting until 2023 for it to show up.
Thanks, Chad. Stop by for a test drive today and see what it's like to drive a truck that gets up to 32 miles a gallon with Ram Eco Diesel. Plus, with Hoblet's true pricing, there's no reason to wait. Stop by the Hoblet Ram Truck Center today or search Select and Save at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
5,000 total net savings and 3,000 total net savings after dealer discount. 10 at each net savings. Highway MPG estimates according to U.S. EPA estimates. See dealer for details.
ATM Mortgage.
Hi, this is Jeff Tarbell with a very unique program for homeowners over 55 years old. How would you like to cut your house payment in half and maybe get some cash out too? Give ATM Mortgage a call. 916-338-9400, 338-9400, or online at atmmortgage.net.
ATM Mortgage.
License under California CFL and MLS 223-4889.
When it's time to service your vehicle, experience matters. Trust the experts at Folsom Lake Honda. We understand how important it is to have a safe and reliable vehicle, and our highly trained technicians will get the job done right the first time. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Need an oil change? Our express service will have you in and out fast. Come in or schedule your service online today.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Your back-to-back Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are back in action at home this Saturday, October 29th, against the Idaho Vandals. It's homecoming, so arrive early for the homecoming festivities and the tailgate. Plus, post-game fireworks will light up the sky. Don't miss the excitement of Sacramento State football this season as your Hornets aim for another Big Sky championship. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Text or call the show at 916-339-1140 on Sactown Sports 1140.
What?
Does it make sense why I'm playing the bed? Other side?
Oh.
Which is where you've moved to.
Yes. Okay, got it. I was slow on that. Yes, I've moved to the other side. Carmichael Dave has left the building. And if you had heard the beginning part of the show, I think we reached that moment.
Yeah, where it's all going to come up.
Yeah.
And exactly what you're thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, we were at the point of no return. So
I think Dave was literally about to like puke all over the mic in the last segment.
I thought so too.
When we started, he kind of gave me the look. I was like, I put my headphones on. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Time to go to the bullpen.
Right. So we'll adjust. We will move on. The show will roll on. We will take you till 9 as Jason Ross, Jay Mars here. Kayte Christensen will join us here in about 15 minutes.
Yes, and all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Talking Kings here, Jay. We were getting into it in our last segment about just an early sample size, really around the league. And another reminder, it's Wednesday. The Kings' first game was 1 week ago today. The season's a week old. And,
I'd say 80% of the fan base has already, put dirt on them.
Yeah.
Put them in the coffin and said, nope, it's done.
I will never, as I'm saying, never tell anyone how to fan. I guess I'll tell you how I fan. I wouldn't overreact, but that's a lot of people will. And I think so much of it is the 16 years in a row.
Sure. I think that's the majority of it.
Because I'm pretty certain Warrior fans aren't worried about 2-2 with a little bit of a slow start. Like we talked about them defensively. I would think people in San Antonio and Utah are pleasantly surprised at 3-1, though some of them may want them to lose
for sure,
because they probably don't think the season will be that legit with them as contenders. But I mean, that's where we are here in Sacramento because they have consistently lost.
But a reminder, there are 4 teams last year that made the playoffs that had really bad starts.
Yes.
So the Celtics started 2-5 last year.
Right. And then even further in, remember almost New Year's, they were below 500.
Right. And it was the whole thing. Is Ime Udoka going to make it through the season? Do they need to trade Jaylen Brown at the deadline? The Pelicans started 1-12 last year.
That was amazing.
The Hawks started 4-9 last year. T-Wolves started 4-9 last year.
Yeah.
Again, these things happen. Teams come out slow, but I get it. It's an apples to oranges comparison to some people because those teams aren't the Sacramento Kings.
Right. And it's your team. It's just who we watch, who you follow. That's the other thing, too, that I do find interesting because I've done it long enough, and there will be a game here soon where the Kings will play. We'll take tomorrow night. This isn't happening, but let's say Ja was out. Bain was out and Brooks was out.
I'd feel like they would have a better chance of losing.
Right. And let's say they lose. And how do you can't lose, blah, blah, blah. Like just fill in the statement. Last night, Dallas played the Pelicans without Zion and without Brandon Ingram, their 2 best players, and the Pelicans won.
Yeah. They were missing 3 total starters in that game, right?
Yeah.
I think they had 8 guys play.
It happens. I mean, how do you blow a lead like this? How do you give up this many points? It's not only the Kings. Now, that's who you follow. That's who you watch. That's all the stuff you get into. But it happens all around the league. But it really doesn't matter because if it's another team, you don't care.
Sure. No, you don't. But again, the context is necessary there. And I feel the other thing about that, too, is, and we talk about this all the time, especially you look at a game coming up tomorrow, right? Memphis coming into town. Common thought, prevailing thought would be, the Grizzlies are going to come in and wax the Kings. But it's the NBA, man. How many times do we see things happen like last night, for instance, where, again, a healthy Dallas team goes in against a banged-up New Orleans team, should win that game without a problem. That's what, again, conventional thought will have you think, and then they end up winning. And we've seen the Kings do this before for years now, where a team will come in that is much better than them, should win, and somehow the Kings pull out a victory.
Right. It just happens when you play 82. This is kind of the way of the world when the Kings were great. If when they were a 1 seed or a championship caliber team, in theory, they're better than everybody they play.
Right.
They didn't win every game.
And nobody does.
No, it's the way it works. It's the way it happens. It's just building consistency. Can you win more times than not? And when you break the season down, have more productive 5-game sessions. That's at least what Mike Brown was talking about the other day at practice.
We can't be worried about game 75 when we're only in game 3. Right now, I can't be, I hope I can say that, but we're only 3. The season's in the toilet right now. Yeah, no. Okay, let's look at these 5 games. Let's see what we do these 5 games. All right. Now, if we go 1-4, 0-5, whatever it is, let's see if we can do a little bit better. But don't think about game 45. Don't think about game 72. Don't think about the playoffs right now. Let's be present in what we're doing. And the best way to do that in my opinion, like I said, is to highlight or break the season up into many seasons so everybody knows what's in front of them right now and they're not getting overwhelmed with where we are currently and how it's going to impact us 3 months from now.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams do that, Jay, where they talk about 5-game increments. Can you, and I think we've said it before, if you 3-2 in a 5-game stretch doesn't seem very impossible. They're very even good to some. That's about a 48-win team. Now the Kings are already 0-3, so you got to make up some ground in this 5-game stretch. And if it's not this one, it's the next one, and so on and so forth. And we also knew coming out of the gate, the schedule would be difficult. And so far, still searching for their first win.
Yeah, if you look at it, so let's take these first 2 5-game increments, right? Even if you go 1-4 here, if you go 3-2 in the following 5, you're 4-6. You're not dead in the water. No. And if you get a couple quality wins there, you're probably feeling good, not great,
right?
But you're feeling a lot better. Like, okay, you see this happen too with slow starts. Sometimes you just have to get that first win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just have to see it happen as a player and as a fan is, okay, again, if they win tomorrow night, all of a sudden you're just going to see attitudes change.
Yep.
They beat a really good Memphis team. They were in it the first 3 games. Like, oh, okay, this team is better than we thought. And I think that really is what happens. We are such a prisoner of the moment. And right now the moment is 0-3. Right now that moment looks like they could be 2-1, right? There are 2 games that you feel like they could have beat Portland, and you feel like, hey, you just hit your free throws. You probably beat the Clippers. You're not beating the Warriors on Sunday. But it's just, again, a prisoner of the moment. If we were going into tomorrow 2-1, again, we're having a completely different conversation.
And maybe even
right
just
now.
1-2, I think people would feel differently.
For sure.
But it's 0-3. They haven't seen a win yet. And vice versa. If they lose to Memphis by 15 tomorrow, I don't know when they're going to win. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't see it.
Yep.
Well, that's the way
they're going to win at some point.
Will. Yeah, we can guarantee that will happen. All right. The one thing that would help them win some more games is a key player to this team the last couple of years, a key starter playing better, and that's Harrison Barnes. De'Aaron Fox shared at practice the other day his thoughts on HB.
I mean, we just got to try to make it easier for him, try to get him open, and I don't think we've gotten him, any open shots, and he's been creating and, getting downhill, and he's gotten to the free throw line as well. But for us, I think we just have to make it a little bit easier for him. Obviously, that wing position is hard in the league, and you're going up against guys that are physical and coming in and out. So we don't want to expect him to just try to create for himself all the time. We have to make it easier for him as a team.
Well, De'Aaron's thriving so well. They need to get Sabonis going. I mean, it would be ideal if Barnes played better. I'm not really too worried about him. By all accounts, too, yesterday, Jay, it looked like Keegan Murray was working out with the starters, which I think was just a matter of time. All those things open up plenty of opportunities for Barnes, who just has not played well.
No, he's been really bad, but here's the other side of that, and I think, again, prisoner of the moment type thing. This is not like the first time during his career, and quite frankly, during his stretch with the Kings, where he has these stretches of where he just kind of he no-shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of been the thing with Harrison Barnes. I think this is what has prevented Harrison Barnes from being, instead of just a role player, to like a top-end role player in the NBA, is he just has these lulls where he's not good. And then I guarantee you in the first 15 games, you'll see him like have like 3 or 4 games in a row where it's like, oh, Harrison's really good. Harrison's back. And then the production will drop off again. Yeah. It's just what he does. And that's why when I see this start, I'm not shocked by it. It sucks. I don't want it to happen. I think it has really been a huge issue with them as to why they're 0-3 is him starting so slowly. But this isn't a new thing.
Right.
This happens with HB. That's why I've always thought like Harrison Barnes should be your 4th or 5th option. Like, if you're relying on him as a 3rd option with kind of the way that offense is designed right now, when you have KZ Okpala starting with Kevin Huerter, I still think there's an expectation that Harrison Barnes is going to be that 3rd guy. And when he's not, you're in trouble, especially when Sabonis is struggling.
Yeah, and I think now if Keegan is, minutes-wise, he's already getting the minutes. But if he is in your starting lineup and still keeps those same minutes, I think he immediately jumps up in that threshold. And you could even argue some nights maybe in that starting lineup, Barnes is the 5th option, and that's okay. That could be a spot. You're not going to get all 5 starters scoring 15 a night. That's just not the way the league really works. But you need De'Aaron to do a lot of heavy lifting. You need more from Sabonis. If Keegan is his reliable, steady self, and then someone else, Huerter, Barnes, Davis, Mitchell, Monk, get you like, hey, that's 17 that they got tonight. the big guns are going to be, I think, Murray, Fox, and Sabonis.
I agree. And in order for this team to win, I think all three of those guys have to be at the very least having good games.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them can have a real stinker because you can't rely on these other role players to be consistently good night in and night out.
Yeah.
It's just not a thing. So if you can get a lot of heavy lifting done by Fox, Sabonis, and Murray, and then two of, whether, like you said, it's Barnes, it's Herter, Mitchell, Monk, Terrence Davis on a given night. Hey, you get a really good night out of Trey Lyles out of nowhere off the bench. If you get two of those guys that come in and play really well, you're going to be competitive.
Yeah.
But if one of those big three guys, and it's funny what we call that the big three, I mean that very loosely, is just really off, it's going to be rough, man.
Yeah.
The Kings almost have to play perfect basketball sometimes. I feel like they're kind of like the 49ers offense. Like if they're not perfect on all the other ends, you can't rely on Garoppolo, right? The Kings kind of operate in the same way. If your big guys are struggling, your big guns,
yeah, it's a lot to ask of this team when those other guys aren't getting it done. All right, we're going to ask some of that and more to the television analyst of the Sacramento Kings. That is Kayte Christensen. She will join us as we start the next hour coming up next.
Sactown Sports 1140 is broadcasting live on YouTube.
To me, it's a must-watch.
Check out the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and the Cattles and Rami Show. Plus, get exclusive content. Search Sactown Sports 1140 on YouTube.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Sacramento area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Is the best way for you to build up and pass on wealth. The Equity Builder program happening right now gives first-time home buyers a head start on this with immediate equity in the home via a loan of up to 10% of the purchase price. Now, here's the deal. The loan is completely forgiven if you live in the house as your primary residence for 5 years. Think about that. A $450,000 home. You make about $80,000. You get $45,000 down as part of the Equity Builder program, and you live in the home for 5 years, boom, the loan is gone. You got to be a first-time home buyer. You got to occupy the property as your primary residence. That's about it. Couple of other things, and you're good to go. That's it. Go to refinance-with-shelby.com. It's a no-brainer. It's the best way to get into this market. Refinance-with-shelby.com. NMLS number 279051, BRE number 01864354.
Folks, there's been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's been getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. And he's off to the races. He might go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown. He did it, folks. He did it.
Regain and optimize your sexual performance, drug-free and surgery-free. The Gainswave treatment will help you get that bedroom touchdown. See what Dr. Dan Botha and his team at Gainswave can do for you. Visit GainswaveCalgary.ca.
At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP to us. That's why MVP's rewards members can earn bonus points on select products from brands like DeWalt, Purdy paint applicators, and GRK screws. Then redeem your bonus points for exciting rewards like tools, grills, Lowe's gift cards, and more. Join Lowe's MVP's Pro Rewards today to start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms. While supplies last. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details. Now through 10/28.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men.
Check the game. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sactown Sports 1140. Sactown Sports headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The San Francisco Giants will reportedly be in pursuit of Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge this offseason, according to a report from NJ.com. According to one source, Judge is at the top of the Giants list, and they won't be underbid. The Sacramento-born Judge grew up in Linden, California as a huge San Francisco Giants fan. Klay Thompson did something in his career that he's never done last night in the Warriors' 134-105 loss to the Suns in Phoenix.
Moments ago, Klay Thompson has been ejected from this ballgame. We talked about him and Devin Booker getting into it. This was the double technical between the two. As Klay is going to the bench, he has words with the official, Ed Malloy, who gives him his second technical and sends him to the locker room.
The game featured 7 technical fouls in the third quarter alone, which tied an NBA record for most technical fouls in a quarter over the last 25 seasons, according to Elias Sports Bureau research. Boston Celtics forward Jaylen Brown and LA Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald both announced on Tuesday that they're leaving Donda Sports, the sports agency founded by the artist formerly known as Kanye West, due to anti-Semitic comments that the Grammy Award-winning artist recently made. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone. When he's not on the microphone, he's playing a song. And when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
As we start our final hour of the show, Jason Ross, Jay Mars here with you. Carmichael Dave made his way home. I know things just sometimes things change.
Do you think he threw up on the side of the freeway?
I don't know.
I'm thinking he did.
I thought he wasn't going to make it out of this room, but hopefully a speedy recovery for him. Want to tell you now, though, that all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Even this one?
Yeah.
This guest, too?
This guest.
Awesome.
And that is the one, the only television analyst of your Sacramento Kings, Kayte Christensen. Kayte, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great. Searching, though, Kayte, for that.
You're one man down, huh?
We're a man down, but, the show goes on, and, he will rally, and he'll be back and better than ever tomorrow, I think.
Oh, it goes on and probably a lot smoother, right?
Yes, exactly.
No comment.
Yeah.
Poor Dave. I hope he feels better.
I think he's still a little sour that you turned down his invite to the Who concert.
Yeah, I get it. He kind of, he gave me, a hard time over it. But listen, there's so much going on. We're about to leave on a road trip.
Yeah.
I've got a million games to watch. It's like, I'm gonna sit this one out.
Okay.
Parenting stuff too, no big deal.
Parenting, work,
life,
responsibilities.
Yeah. So Kayte, this team is still searching for its first win. They're 0-3, a lot more basketball ahead. But what would you say if you could put your finger on maybe one key reason why they don't have their first win yet?
I just think that they're trying to figure out, how to play together for 48 minutes. I mean, we've talked about that a lot with this team, but when you look at the changes, obviously, the new coaching staff, new system, a lot of new players, they looked really, really great in the preseason. But the reality of it is, you kind of look at, you can kind of draw some comparisons to the Pelicans team last year, right? When Willie Green came on as their head coach and they struggled early, and everyone thought they were going to be, just a bad team. It was going to take them a while. Well, it didn't take them, as long as people thought. They really turned it around. And I think it's just about cohesiveness and getting on the same page and still learning and trusting in the system on both ends.
Kayte Christensen joining us this morning. Kayte, when it comes to individual players, obviously, we've been highlighting some of the struggles of different guys. Someone I've been a little surprised with that they've struggled out the gate so much is Davion Mitchell. Do you kind of equate that to the same thing, the cohesiveness of the team overall, or do you see anything in Davion's game that's really laboring right now?
No, I think it comes down to kind of some some minutes that aren't, he doesn't know what his role is and what, when his number is going to be called. And I think that is totally normal at this point in the season. Mike Brown has had a bunch of different groups out there, a bunch of different rotations, like knowing as a guy coming off the bench, like I'm coming in, I'm going to be the first person off the bench, or I'm going to be the second person off the bench. It's really important to kind of mentally prepare and to know your roles. Players really thrive in those situations. But Mike Brown, and this is totally okay because we're 3 games into the season, I think he's still trying to figure out like what groups work well together, when he should bring certain guys off the bench, why he should bring certain guys off the bench. And in that last game against Golden State, I mean, my goodness, Davion got in early foul trouble. As a defensive player, that completely rattles you and takes you out of the game from the very beginning. And I thought it was frustrating, calling the game and watching it, the foul situation in the first half of that game, both Terrence Davis and Davion coming off the bench got in immediate foul trouble. Both of them, I think, had like 4 fouls in 5 minutes. And eventually in the second half, at halftime, they took one of Terrence's fouls away. But I think that has something to do with it. And then, it's just, I think Mike Brown and his coaching staff trying to figure out rotations and groupings and timing of rotations. So I'm not that worried. Davion looked so good in the preseason. His shot looked so good. He's had a rough start offensively, but that's not going to go away. He's not going to play well in the preseason and then take 5 steps backwards. So I'm not really that worried about Davion. It'll all get ironed out.
Katie, I know one thing they say in football, like maybe to an offensive lineman, like, you can try to hold on every play because they won't call them all. And so maybe if you just keep establishing that's what you can do. This team, it looks like they're being more aggressive. It looks like they're trying to defend better, but that defend without fouling, they've been fouling and they've been getting called for it. So do they have to change what they're doing or just keep this up and maybe think the whistles will slow down on them?
Oh gosh, Jason, it might be a combination of both. It might be the officials like adjusting to the fact that they are playing more physically and are playing more aggressively than this team did last year. And listen, reputations follow teams, whether or not the personnel changes or not, right? And so I think you have to be patient and establish that. But Mike Brown is always talking about leading with your chest defensively, and listen, as frustrating as some of these fouls are, they're ticky-tack, they're hand fouls. And if you become disciplined enough to have that mantra ingrained in your head of leading with your chest, pulling your hands back, officials are going to give you more leeway with the physicality if you just remove your hands from the situation. And so, Rashawn Holmes is someone that he kind of struggled the first couple games. I thought he did better against Golden State in terms of, leading with that kind of, discipline on defense, which is lead with your chest, keep your hands out of it, the verticality. There's been some really great examples in the 3 games this year of the moments when the team and individual players are really, I'm seeing changes defensively. But now it's about doing it consistently and just getting that ingrained in your head so that it's second nature. Like when that Clippers game, like, listen, I could watch the Clippers play defense every night. Like that defense is so dialed in and they're all on the same page. And that's the direction I believe that the Kings are heading in. It's so early in the season and it's so new. They just need reps. They need time. And I think that it will get there and you'll see massive improvement.
Katie, I agree. You are seeing, improvement in spurts. How much of that in your mind is due to the fact that the Kings are a lot bigger on the wing this year? It feels like with Herter, with guys like KZ Okpala and Keegan. Do you think that's made a big difference?
Size is a huge advantage in the NBA. Yeah, I think that it's made a difference, but it's also like mentality of players, right? So, Davion is not a big guy, but Davion is a dog defensively, right? Terrence is actually a really good defender, but for him, it's about discipline, right? There's times last year where it's like, my goodness, he didn't resemble at all the player he was when he was traded the previous season from Toronto. I mean, he played so well. He was defensively just getting into people. And then last year he was a liability on defense at times. And then by the end of the season, well, by the end of his season, which I believe was January, if memory serves, before he got injured, he was putting it together. So players have to consistently hold themselves accountable. And I don't think size or anything like that, I've never believed that. I was an undersized player. It's really just about mentality, but the size helps when they go small, if you will. And I have liked Mike's small lineups. I mean, I want to say, was it the last home game against the Clippers that he went small in the fourth quarter, and they were able to switch, all 5 guys, and there's some different lineups he's toying with that I'm like, oh, that's intriguing, that's interesting, and they're small, but they've got a lot more size when they go small than they did last year.
Katie, it looks like yesterday at practice, Keegan Murray worked out with the starting group. I think it's just a matter of time there, and we know he's been playing a ton of minutes. But if we pencil him in as a starter, what impact do you think that does to start games for this team, and then really how the bench looks if Keegan becomes a starter for this team?
Yeah, I think everyone is really wanting Keegan to be a starter. I'm curious if Mike goes that route. That I'm interested to see, who is removed from the starting lineup. Harrison Barnes has not played well to start the season, but listen, Harrison Barnes the last several years has probably been the most consistent king on this roster. So I'm not worried about his start. But when it comes to Keegan, so if he's going to come in and play with the starting unit, it's going to free some things up, for everyone involved, including him, because now he's playing around De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, like scorers that the defense really has to key in on. And it might get him some easier shots. But I'm sitting here going like, no matter what group he's been in there with, he's gotten easy shots. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just, now my concern, to be honest, is, okay, if you're going to put him in the starting lineup, who's going to be that guy coming off the bench? Who's that sixth man? Who's that guy in the second unit? Because for this team to be successful, that second unit has to come in and be able to score. And up to this point, in the couple games he's played, it's been Keegan. So that's, these are all questions for a coach that they have to figure out. And it's really, I'm glad it's not my problem, but Keegan was closing games. So I wasn't really worried about that. So we'll see how Mike kind of messes with it, what he decides to do, and what the ripple effect of that is, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, we'll see if these practice days off and some practice time, it will be valuable for tomorrow's tough matchup against Memphis. We know you'll be on the call there. Katie, we thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you next Wednesday, and we'll see you at the arena tomorrow night.
All right, fellas. Have a good rest of the show.
All right,
thanks, Katie.
Thank you. That's Kayte Christensen joining us there. We've got more to get to, including it's Wednesday. That means we whine.
Ooh, do we?
Yeah, we've got to whine about something on this Wine Wednesday. We can have you do that as well on our YouTube page, on our text line. We've got that and more coming up.
Kings insiders Frankie Cardoselli and Chris Watkins give you all things Kings on the return of the Roar podcast.
With these two sitting next to me now, certainly feel comforted.
You can sign up for free at SactownSports.com.
It may not feel like it all the time, but fall is officially here. The weather may be a little uncomfortable right now. 1 minute it's cool and rainy. The next day it's warm and sunny. Get it. But what can make you comfortable inside is knowing your AC or furnace will be working properly and efficiently for whatever temp it is outside. Take advantage of American Energy's $49 AC or furnace 30-point tune-up today. Make sure you and your family are ready for the changing weather. Call American Energy today, 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Text or call the show at 916-339-1140 on Sactown Sports 1140.
Thanks again to Kayte Christensen joining us each and every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. It's also Wednesday, meaning it's time for wine. It's time for us to wine. For the love of wine, it's Wine Wednesday. Let's hear your wine of the week.
Wine.
Yeah. Well, either way, however you want to take it. Let's hear your wine of the week, brought to you by 23 Wines. So, yeah, you can text us about that on the YouTube chat. Simone says, oh, boy, I have a wine.
I'd love to hear
wine?
this.
She put both, WHINE and WINE.
Either way, I'd love to hear this.
I'm crafting mine as we speak because I was thinking about a topic we had earlier in the show about Aaron Judge. Currently my favorite baseball player on my favorite team.
Mm-hmm.
I do think free agency is a good thing, and I think for players to be able to choose where they want to go, it's a great thing. But when it's your guy and he's on your team and he may leave, that's going to make me want to whine. But really, the whine is really people like me or people, Giants fans, or there's rumors about the Dodgers. There's rumors about every team basically trying to get him.
The Mets I've even seen in those rumors.
But how we all try to live make the decision for him.
Right.
Oh, if I'm Aaron Judge, I stay with the Yankees. That's me. Why? Because I want him to.
You're a Yankees fan. It makes sense.
No, Jay. Why would he go to the Giants? I mean, he's a Yankee.
It doesn't make sense.
He'll be in Monument Park.
They have pinstripes on their jerseys.
I mean, it's New York. I mean, they're in the playoffs every year, and he's going to make as much money in the endorsements, and
the
he's
food's
legendary.
open late.
And he's got to do it. Well, really, why? Because I want him to be there.
Right.
I want to see him in the lineup. I want to see him hit home runs. That's my favorite team. He's one of my favorite players. If he lands as a Giant, I will then probably whine some more. Like, why would he do this? It doesn't make any sense. They're not a playoff team. Why would he go there? I don't care that he's from. No, those are some of the reasons why he would choose the Giants.
Yes.
He's from California, and he wants to be around family. You can come back and live there during the offseason.
It's his favorite team growing up. It's a boyhood dream come true, so to speak.
It's his choice.
Right.
It's
his choice of a new generation.
Yes. But sometimes as fans, that's what we are. It's hard to do. It's hard to accept. It's hard to, and I think by and large, I do think free agency is good. I do. Because we look at it as, and it's different. It's changed way more over the last 25 years. But I mean, basically, if guys were drafted by a team, they were most likely playing their whole careers on that team.
Yeah.
Sports have changed dramatically. I mean,
right.
LeBron is, whether or not you think he's the greatest player or not of all time, he's one of them. He's been on 4 teams. Shaq ended up being on 7 teams. You would think Shaq would be Orlando forever.
Nope.
Oh, if not, at least the Lakers 2-team career. I mean,
he was in Orlando for what, 4 seasons?
The Lakers a long time, but then it was Miami, Phoenix. He had Cleveland. He had Boston. He had a bunch of teams in there.
Yeah, no, it was kind of crazy actually.
So kind of my whine is media, is fans, certainly social media, living the athlete's life or choosing for them, and then questioning when they pick a new team.
Which really at the end is simply this: you're manifesting all this stuff because you know that player leaving is such a gap.
Yeah,
on the roster.
I'm calling myself out. I don't want him to be gone.
It's like Aaron Judge. How are you going to fill that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because It's not like you can just snap your fingers and get Shohei Ohtani on the roster. He's still an angel, technically.
Right.
Maybe in a couple years, but yeah. And when you have a player like that, it leaves such a hole, not just in the roster, but as a fan, in your heart.
Yes.
So, yeah, you do try to justify. Why would he do that?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, a couple here. These are good. This is coming from, one's from Simone here. People in the express line at the grocery store who have more than 15 items. Just don't do that.
No, you're a bad person.
Just don't do that. And another one I know I talked about. There's a lot more now. Self-express, you could just go check yourself out at the same time. A couple items.
Mm-hmm.
Can you know how to do it? It defeats the purpose if it's a 2-station system and one person's there that takes 12 minutes. It's I got 3 items. Let's go. Boop, scan it and move.
I'm going to marry your argument with Simone's argument. It's the people that go into the self-checkout that have 3 weeks worth of groceries.
Right.
That they are taking forever because they have so many items. It's this isn't here for that.
No, that's not the reason.
This is
the other line.
This is express checkout at Jace.
Yeah.
Go in there if you have 10 to 15 items. Cool. But when you go in there, when you're going to leave with 12 bags of groceries, you're defeating the purpose, bro.
Yeah.
Another
one, Ryan in Sactown. People who throw entire plates of food down garbage disposals. The disposal is for scraps while washing dishes. Yeah, you're not supposed
Who
to put
does that?
You're not supposed to put any food down there, to be honest.
No, I mean, yeah, that's why you get those little drain trappers.
Yeah.
So it gets trapped and you can just toss it.
Yeah. And I don't know where in our area now, we're supposed to put compost, the green waste now.
I know that's not working out really well for the county of Sacramento.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have a wine?
I do.
Okay.
It is empty calorie truther when it comes to specifically basketball.
Okay.
This term got coined a few years ago. I don't know if he's particularly responsible for it, but the first guy I really started hearing about empty calorie player was Zach Lowe, who is on ESPN.
Yep.
He's on their daily NBA program. And it's basically, in a nutshell, an empty calorie player is someone who will give you statistics, but those statistics have nothing to do with a win.
Mm-hmm.
And so now anybody that puts up stats on a bad team is an empty calorie player. And that's not true. You're not using the term correctly. It's for guys that have been on multiple teams, number one, that go in and put up good statistics, but there's never an impact on the game with the statistics. That's
it's less about the win-loss.
It's like empty calories are basically like the can of Pringles is always that. Like you eat a can of Pringles, it's a ton of calories, but there's no positive impact.
You just got that salt fix.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, it's been recent now. De'Aaron Fox is an empty calorie guy. Is he an empty calorie guy, or do they not put the correct things around him to basically make his stats matter? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So to give another example, last year, LeBron James on the Lakers would have been an empty calorie guy because he led the league in scoring and they didn't make the playoffs. But we all know if you would have put a good team around LeBron and he's doing that, they would have went really deep into the playoffs. That's the context. And so if De'Aaron had played for 2 or 3 teams where he puts up big numbers and those teams always suck, even with good players around him, and he's, kind of the guy, you can make the argument then. But we can't make the argument about guys. Again, Tyrese Halliburton, technically speaking, if that's how you're looking at empty calories, is an empty calorie player.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that's not the case. Tyrese has just never played with really good talent.
Right.
So you can't say he's an empty calorie player. People need to stop taking that saying and taking it out of its proper context.
Yeah, I also wonder if you can be on a bad team. So let's take a bad team, a 30-win team, so they lose more than they win. But that's where I also then maybe even go to plus minus, because I think you can put up stats on a bad team and maybe even have the stats that are marginal and they win the game on one of those 30 nights.
Sure.
But you're like, what were your stats didn't really help you win the game. And then the nights where maybe you had bigger numbers and you lost. Like, what is your role in the team? And where I'm going with that is I wondered about Marvin. I mean, we were his first team and he was not on a great team. I'll give him that. But I felt like more times than not, even on a winning night, I go, yeah, I mean, he had 11 and 8, but I don't know what his impact was on the game. And then other nights where they lost and he might have had 21 and 12. I go, yeah, Marvin was good, or was he? Like, I felt like he went down that road a little bit, but I don't know that I could prove that.
Yeah, the big thing when it comes to that is really that's when you have to start looking at percentages, and that's when you can't just look at a box score, so to speak.
Correct.
You have to actually watch the game. Okay, well, what kind of shots is he making? What kind of shots is he taking? I always said the big thing with Marvin was his rebounding statistics were always padded. If you watch the game, he'd get a lot of rebounds where he was the only guy underneath the hoop. Now, he was not getting rebounds in traffic, and those type of things matter. And those are things that box scores can't tell you.
Yeah.
So that's why you can't just watch a box score. You have to watch the game too, because the context is, and this is why this is the one thing people will point out about analytics and how analytics don't tell the whole story is analytics aren't saying, oh, this person shoots 60% from inside 15 feet. Well, in certain games, who's defending them?
Right.
Are those good looks in those games? Do they have an off? It's just there's so many other variables that you won't see if you don't watch the game.
Well, the other part about that is, and I've always said this, is if you get a player, the Kings acquire a player today in a trade, what are we immediately going to do? Oh, they average 13 and 8. So you're going to plug 13 and 8 into the Kings and go, that's great. Now you see the 13 and 8 firsthand, you go, that's a little different. I didn't realize they turn the ball. They don't dribble as well, or they can't guard the perimeter, or now you see all the warts. And so then when player leaves, so now let's go back to Tyrese Halliburton. We know what he can do. Tyrese is a good player. But now I don't think all of the Kings fans that are seeing Tyrese's stat line are watching the game.
No, they're not. They're just see the numbers like, man, efficient.
24,
scoring.
12, and 6. He was great. Was he?
Yeah.
The stat looks good. And I'm not trying to argue one way or the other.
No, of course
but
not.
You immediately go to the box score and you don't know where the warts are in those players' games.
Yeah, and we could even say that a little bit with Sabonis coming over.
Sure.
Everyone's like, all you hear is these good things, but then you watch them like, okay, there are flaws in his game that impact the win-loss record of the team.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to is before you call any player empty calories, put the full context of the situation there and watch a little bit.
Yeah, it helps. What a concept. Watch the
I
game.
know.
What a concept. All right, we got more to get to, including watching some games tonight. What to watch for tonight in the NBA. We're still waiting on the Kings to play. It's so weird when it seems like they play every day or every other day.
Like they're on an NFL schedule.
when it's more than like, what is this? They haven't played since Sunday. It feels like it's been an eternity. they're going to finally play tomorrow, but we'll look at the night in the NBA. We'll do that next.
Get your 49ers fix every week with the Return of the Empire podcast, featuring Jay Mars and 49ers insider Emil Fagoso.
Let's go Niners!
At Sactownsports.com, your local sports leader.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. The primetime football giveaway, it's back. They're giving away a total of $500 for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento, with plenty of well-lit parking and some of the best food in a friendly environment. For more information on tournaments and gaming, please log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. As always, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your back-to-back Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are back in action at home this Saturday, October 29th, against the Idaho Vandals. It's homecoming, so arrive early for the homecoming festivities and the tailgate. Plus, post-game fireworks will light up the sky. Don't miss the excitement of Sacramento State football this season as your Hornets aim for another Big Sky championship. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
If you want to hit the golf ball farther and straighter, the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers you the opportunity to experience the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA Tour professionals. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is an indoor facility that opens onto the driving range so you can see your all-important ball flight. With the advantages of cutting-edge technology and analyzing your ball flight, the Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
It's hard to find a better selection of 4x4s in stock and ready to drive home today than you'll find at M&S Auto on El Camino right off the Cap City Freeway. New truck prices keep rising. M&S invites you to tour their selection of super clean 4x4s and trucks and save thousands. Tacomas, F-150s, Jeeps, Rams, Silverados. Great deals today on hundreds of 4x4s, SUVs, and muscle cars. First-time buyers are welcome. M&S Auto Sales, El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. MSAutogroup.com.
Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and people always ask us, why does a heating and air conditioning company also sell replacement windows?
Simple. We're all about lowering your energy bills and keeping your home comfortable. And for a lot of homes in the area, old, outdated windows are a major problem.
If your home is more than 10 years old, you should at least get your windows inspected.
Chances are high that new, ultra-efficient windows from Bell Brothers will make a world of difference, both in energy bills and the comfort of your home.
And right now, when you buy 8 or more windows, we'll give you 50% off any sliding glass door or a free pet door.
So, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass at Sactownsports.com and sign up today. Win tickets to see Black Adam, the IMAX experience at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140. Capital Casino back with indoor gaming and dining located inside at 411 North 16th Street, downtown Sacramento.
Sactown Sports headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The San Francisco Giants will reportedly be in pursuit of Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge this offseason, according to a report from NJ.com. According to one source, Judge is at the top of the Giants list, and they won't be underbid. The Sacramento-born Judge grew up in Linden, California as a huge San Francisco Giants fan. Klay Thompson did something in his career that he's never done last night. The Warriors 134-105 lost to the Suns in Phoenix.
Moments ago, Klay Thompson has been ejected from this ballgame. We talked about him and Devin Booker getting into it. This was the double technical between the two. As Klay is going to the bench, he has words with the official, Ed Malloy, who gives him his second technical and sends him to the locker room.
The game featured 7 technical fouls in the third quarter alone, which tied an NBA record for most technical fouls in a quarter over the last 25 seasons, according to Elias Sports Bureau research. Boston Celtics forward Jaylen Brown and LA Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald both announced on Tuesday that they're leaving Donda Sports, the sports agency founded by the artist formerly known as Kanye West, due to anti-Semitic comments that the Grammy Award-winning artist recently made. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Got a take? Make sure it's a hot one.
Take a shot right now.
Call or text at 916-339-1140. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
Back here on the show, Jason Ross, Jay Mars. We'll be back at full crew tomorrow. At least that's what we believe here. You were talking about empty calorie guy, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Text line offers this one up. Want to get your thoughts on it. Carmelo Anthony?
Agreed.
Empty calorie?
There is a body of work there
multiple
through
team theory?
multiple teams. You know, Denver got better when he left. The Knicks.
So early on, was he not?
Early on, I don't think you could have really said that because he was putting up great stats.
But then you go body of work, you go multiple teams.
Right. And again, once you do that, then I think you can make the case.
Okay.
Because once he got to the Knicks, it was kind of the same thing.
Is empty calorie guy the same as what I used to call him? Maybe I'm not the one that coined this, but irrelevant home run. You know, it's 9-2, and there's certain guys that seem to hit that 2-run home run in the 8th to make it 9-4, and by the end, he had a good day, he had a 2-run home run, and like you lost 9-4. Like you had nothing to do with the game. Like irrelevant home run guy.
Yeah, irrelevant home run guy doesn't hit home runs other than when the game's not.
Yeah. It didn't lead to anything.
Doesn't lead to anything, correct?
Yeah.
And if they do that for multiple teams,
right?
And there are several cases of players over the years. There's several cases of empty calorie guys in baseball.
Yeah.
And I know baseball's
it's in every sport. But.
Yeah, it's in every sport, but baseball's another one, which baseball's a little more difficult in a sense because there's so many more players, whereas I think the NBA is really easy because there's only 5 players on the court at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I say this? As an individual, you are more likely to make an impact in an NBA game versus the NFL and MLB because there's way more context because of how many players are on the field.
Yeah, one of my NBA pet peeves, and it doesn't seem to happen as much. It used to be like Mitch Richmond was the worst at this. The guy that won't shoot the ball at the end of the quarter or does purposely after they know when the buzzer's going, purposely after it's like, oh, I gave it an effort. No, you did it after to protect your shooting percentage.
Right.
I love Steph for like Steph will try anytime, anywhere from 90. Like he's going to launch because one, he might make it. And so I missed one more. Like he's not worried about his percentages.
Yeah, no. And I wish
give it a try.
No. And there are guys that will either, like you said, purposely do that.
Just eat it.
Or they love getting stats at the end of the game when it doesn't matter. When the game's already out of question.
Rebound.
Yes. Yeah. Ooh, who did it? Was it Ricky Davis?
Yes.
That did the triple-double that way?
He missed the shot on purpose.
Correct.
Grabbed his own board. Yeah.
Just
come on.
And that's an extreme example, obviously, but there are guys with that mentality like, yo, I need to get my stats.
Yeah. Tonight in the NBA, we have to wait one more day for the Sacramento Kings. Memphis also has been off since Monday, so they'll be pretty well rested when they play tomorrow. Let's see some games to monitor, to watch. I think of interest tonight. The Nets and Bucks. The Nets are just 1-2 so far. Milwaukee's only played 2 games. They're the only other undefeated team. They are 2-0. I think both teams will be really good teams as the year goes on. But I think the Nets are still a team worth watching because Ben Simmons hasn't jumped out of the gates. Not that he's going to be the stat filler, but I think he needs to provide a little bit more than he's doing. KD's been fine, Kyrie. But it's just, what are the Nets going to be as the season goes along?
Yeah, and Ben Simmons looked pretty decent in the preseason, but again, it's the preseason, so I don't really put a lot of stock into that. I think the big thing right now is they do need him to get going, and more so on the defensive end, because that's his calling card, right? Ben Simmons is an all-league defender. Ben Simmons is fouling like crazy right now.
Yeah.
And so we talked about it earlier. You got to play defense without fouling, and he's not doing that right now. And I don't know if they get, kind of what Kayte was talking about earlier with the Kings. I don't know if that's just referees calling the game super tight right now, or he's just struggling to get his sea legs back, so to speak, because he didn't play last year.
Well, and part of the reason you do Ben Simmons is, okay, we're younger than James Harden, but hey, look, we want to be more rounded as a better defense. You could have kept Harden and just been this elite offense that no one could guard. but instead you haven't found the middle ground there.
No. And I think they figure it out. I mean, you saw Kyrie and
go.
Kayte put up 37 apiece the other night.
Yeah.
Only reason they lost is because Morant and Bane put up 38 apiece in Memphis. So, yeah, I think the Nets figure it out. I don't have a lot of concern about them.
Miami is in Portland tonight. Not the game of the night, but it's Portland at 4-0. I am surprised that the Blazers are 4-0. Credit to them, but can they be 5-0 tonight as Miami's on the West? The Kings will play Miami on Saturday.
I think Miami beats them.
You do?
Yeah, I think so. Although
I don't love Portland's depth, but I got to acknowledge their 4-0 start, and Dame's been off to a great start.
Outside of Dame, I don't love Portland, period.
Yeah.
You know, I think Nurkic is fine.
Yeah, Dame's higher on them than you and I are.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant's fine. Anthony Simons is good, but, you know, prior to him going off and was at the third or fourth quarter the other night, he had really struggled shooting in those first 3 games. Despite that, the Blazers were winning. But I need to see a longer sample size before I buy in on Portland. The one thing to watch with Miami, and this was the big thing in the playoffs, and it's a big thing starting out the season, is Kyle Lowry he looks washed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's washed, but right now he's in territory of being washed.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, you start to look ahead. The Kings have to worry about themselves, but that's their next opponent after Memphis. You might want Miami to win because they're 1-3. And, you know, they lose that game, you're 1-4. And then they're going, okay, well, we got to beat Sacramento.
Yeah, they're going to look at the Kings as a Robitussin game.
Yeah. It's like, that's our get-right game. And, you know, that desperate team, it's early on. It's a proud team at conference finals. So, the fact that the Kings play the Warriors 3 times in the first 12 and Miami, they're going to be done with Miami next week.
I actually like that.
Yeah.
Get Miami out of the way early. Why they're
the Warriors early.
Yeah, why they're all still trying to figure it out. I mean, I know the Warriors are the Warriors, but defensively, I think in the last 3 games, have they played 3 or 4?
The Heat?
No, the Warriors.
Oh, the Warriors are 4. They're 2-2.
Okay, yeah. In their last 3 games, they've given up 383 points.
Yeah.
Like, you have a chance to sneak out a couple wins against them because defensively, they do not look good right now. So, yeah, get those teams early when you can sneak a couple wins versus later in the season when they have their sea legs under them and they're going to kick the crap out of you because of that.
Yeah. And then the other game, it's much like a reality show. Why do people watch reality shows? Because, hey, their life is weird. Mine's not that weird. I don't do that. Why do they do that? Look at this family. They're a mess. Ours is better. Okay. The Lakers.
I mean, you're right.
The Lakers are seemingly in more of a mess. I mean, they have the same record as the Kings. They've got some pretty good high-level talent. They also are 0-3.
Are we still considering Russ high-level talent at this point?
Okay, let's put him on a team, and I don't know who this team is, where would be allowed to be like a featured player or the featured player. I think he gets numbers, but is he empty calorie guy?
At this point in his career, yes.
Okay.
I think because his shooting percentages are so bad, when anytime he has the ball in his hands and he has high usage rate, he turns it over all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you could actually consider his jump shots a turnover at this point. You know, it's like he doesn't just miss, Jason, he misses bad.
Yeah.
And I think he's shooting 8% from 3 this year so far.
8?
That's 8.
Did you say 8?
8. Just the single digit. I think it's safe to say Russ is washed. And I thought it was safe to say last year.
Yeah.
I think this year is just putting an exclamation point on it.
And certainly it's not all him. What I can't figure out is LeBron obviously is still playing at a great level. It's just unreal. And I think LeBron in general has always made people around him better. I think he still has that ability. I think he still tries to do that. And AD's still a really gifted player. I don't know why it's this broken.
Because
it's not Russ. It's not just Russ.
No, it's not just Russ, but he's, you know, the third best player allegedly on that team, or he's supposed to be, right?
Right.
And he's not good.
Yeah.
And then you look around the rest of the team, like, I agree with you. LeBron could still make guys better, but
like he should make Kendrick Nunn better, Lonnie Walker better. I mean, again, I'm not asking for all stars here, but
yeah, but I feel
he
like
made, you know, think about some of the guys in the past that he made more than relevant in this league. You know, made them conference finals and finals teams.
I just feel like these guys the Lakers pulled in, they suck.
Yeah.
Like I think Kendrick Nunn had that one rookie year in Miami, hasn't done anything since. Lonnie Walker was disappointed. The Spurs couldn't get much out of Lonnie Walker. I don't think why the Lakers think they would be able to. This is not exactly a organization over the last 10 years that's developed young talent. There's no depth on that team.
But so the team that won the title, I know it was in the bubble, but even if we count, that was still a good team that had him and AD that, what was it? Howard, JaVale McGee,
Yeah,
Danny Green. Like,
there were good vets on that team to go with them. Whereas this team, like, who's a really good vet on that team outside of AD and LeBron? Like just a really good solid vet where you can plug them in, they're going to produce every night.
It's a great question.
There isn't one.
They have the Schröders and the Westbrooks.
Schroeder's hurt.
Yeah.
He might not even play this year. There's some reports, although I think he comes back. But even then, Pat Beverly to me was not the answer.
Mm-hmm.
You have shooting woes and you go out and get a guy who, mentally tough. Pat Bev is not a good shooter. They can't shoot.
And then you add more of the younger types from winning teams like Damian Jones, who with the Warriors, Juan Toscano Anderson.
But Damian Jones was barely getting on the court for Sacramento last year.
True.
And, we would see moments where it's like, oh, Damian Jones is pretty good. But again, when you're the third big on the Sacramento Kings and now you're starting on a team that allegedly should be a title contender, although I think it's safe to say they're not even close. It's just things like that blow my mind with the Lakers and how Rob Pelinka has just built around them.
Yeah, Lakers have lost to the Warriors, the Clippers, the Blazers. Tonight they're in Denver. Friday they're in Minnesota. Sunday they're back home for Denver. Then home for New Orleans. Yeah.
That's a rough 7-game start.
It is.
Especially if New Orleans gets Zion and Ingram back, although we don't have the timetables there.
Well, they'll be here Friday, November 11th. We'll see what each team's record is at that point.
Well, both teams will be trying to get their first win of the season.
Oh, man. I hope the Kings have several wins by then, but we'll see. We shall see. All right, we've got one final segment ahead. We've got news. We've got notes. We've got all that coming up.
Live and past broadcasts of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and Cattles and Rami. Interviews, podcasts, and more. They all live on the Sactown Sports 1140 app. Download the app now in the App Store and Google Play.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Power Days?
Not only can you save up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cabs, but you can save thousands more with 2.9% financing for 72 months. As the Fed keeps raising rates, these kinds of low interest rates will be harder to get. Plus, with gas prices soaring, now is the time to replace that old gas guzzler.
Wait, people are still doing that?
We're seeing it too, which is why we're doing what we can to help. Not only do we not have dealer markups, but when you go to hobletdodge.com, you see our true price. No surprise fees or last-minute add-ons. Plus, since we're California's #1 Ram dealer, we have the truck you need at the price that fits your budget.
Hoblet's been known for taking care of its customers for generations. See Hoblet's true pricing now by stopping by the Hoblet Ram Truck Center for a test drive or check out their full selection at hobletdodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
$8,000 total net savings after $3,500 factory rebates and $4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance with Chrysler Capital qualified. Special 2.9% financing for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 15-16 per thousand borrowed. 10 net savings. Highway MVG estimates according to the US EPA estimates. See dealer for details.
Yeah, we're a sports family. 2-a-day practices with muddy gear, driving in all kinds of weather to get to away games, and of course, the gravel parking lots. Oh, and did we mention kids? So you can imagine what our car looks like, except it doesn't. We're big fans of defying expectations. So we go to Quick Quack and shine like all our kids' trophies. Go for the win yourself and head to Quick Quack for a shine that lets you defy expectations.
It's Carmichael Day for my good friend Shelby and everybody over at refinancewithshelby.com. Home equity is the best way for you to build up and pass on wealth. The Equity Builder program happening right now gives first-time home buyers a head start on this with immediate equity in the home via a loan of up to 10% of the purchase price. Now, here's the deal. The loan is completely forgiven if you live in the house as your primary residence for 5 years. Think about that. A $450,000 home. You make about 80 grand. You get 45 grand down as part of the Equity Builder program, and you live in the home for 5 years, boom, the loan is gone. You got to be a first-time home buyer. You got to occupy the property as your primary residence. That's about it. Couple of other things, and you're good to go. That's it. Go to refinancewithshelby.com. It's a no-brainer. It's the best way to get into this market. Refinance.with.shelby.com. NMLS number 279051. BRE number 01864354.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. Hey, small business owner, when's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs, but some don't check their rate often. Did you know rates can vary? In fact, taking 3 minutes to check your rate with Pi Insurance could save you up to 30%. Just go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for you with no hassle or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could save you money. Plus, with Pi, you can have peace of mind knowing your employees are protected. Our team of friendly customer representatives are just a call away, ready to help. It's no wonder customers rate us excellent on Trustpilot. Find out how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot.
And what's not?
It's not good.
Brought to you by American Energy Air and Solar, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
Who is hot?
Jay, I want you to tell me who is hot.
All right, I got 4 guys that are
Four hot?
Yeah.
Non-empty calories?
Non-empty calories. So there's 4 players averaging over 55% from the field this season on 25 points per game.
Whoa.
Can you name the 4?
Well, I'm just going to start thinking about people shooting that or scoring that high. John Morant?
No.
Dame Lillard?
No.
Oh, De'Aaron Fox?
Yes.
Okay, there's
De'Aaron
one.
Fox is number 2 at 58.4%.
Tatum?
Tatum, number 4 at 55.6%. You got 3 and 1? Give you a hint. They're big name brand players.
Name brand players.
That put the ball in the basket a lot.
I don't think this is right, but I'll give it a whirl. Embiid?
No.
Because we already get 2 outside guys. Are they inside guys, outside guy, wings? Guards?
One likes
Steph
to
Curry.
be one's more on the outside, the other is definitely on the inside.
Booker?
Nope.
Giannis.
Giannis is number 1 at 70.3%. Number 3 is a very obvious name.
Obvious, and I'm missing
Eastern Conference.
Harden?
No.
KD.
KD.
Okay. I got there. They're hot.
Highest
so Fox
field,
is in that list.
Yeah,
Good
so
for
the
De'Aaron.
highest field goal percentage right now on 25 points per game this season. Number 4, Jason Tatum at 55.6. Number 3, KD at 55.9. Number 2, De'Aaron Fox at 58.4. And number 1, Giannis at 70.3.
Yeah.
Who's not?
Who is not?
Clay.
Oh,
Rough game last night
easy
for
on
Clay
Everybody
Thompson.
loves Clay.
Yeah, except the basket. Am I right?
Yeah,
last
you're right.
Last night against Phoenix, Clay Thompson had 2 points, 2 techs, 1 of 8 from the field, 0 from 5 from 3, and his first career ejection.
Clay.
Sorry, Clay.
Come on, Clay.
Come on, Clay. Get it together.
Get it together, Clay.
All right. We're going to get it together here with the news.
Stand by on this frequency.
It's time for the news of the day.
Thank you for ruining the show and dropping a steamer on my journalistic integrity.
Today's important headlines, intelligent analysis, hard-hitting interviews.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
Here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Oh my God, I love those guys.
Hey, thank you. It is October 26th. Some news and notes here for you. Jay, how are you as a jump roper? Is it good? Fair?
Fair.
Any tricks? Just standard? You could just jump
I could just do standard jump ropes. Like, I can't do like the Rocky Balboa side super fast and bring it back. Like, no, I'll hurt myself.
What's the double dutch?
Yeah, nope, not for me.
The people that can just do that just are amazing. Sometimes those are good halftime acts. Well, there's Ryan Skipman Alonso.
Skip man.
He's hot. He's 35 years old. He broke his second Guinness Book of World Record via the jump rope. This was the most consecutive rope crosses, like the crisscross, I guess. The old record was 2,405. He shattered that with a new record of 3,731.
Holy cow! That takes some. That takes some time, some strength,
and
some
the counters just going 1,
dude.
2, 3.
I'd imagine no, it's more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like you're probably counting the heck out of the counter.
Then it's endurance, right? And
yes,
because you can. I'm sure he's
like you
very
got to
skilled.
Train for that, man.
Absolutely. I used to love
the Guinness Book of World Record. Like literally opening the book when I was a kid just to see and read different things. And I'm sure maybe we should get a show record because I mean you can pretty much do anything.
Yeah. Does anyone I feel like the Guinness Book of World Records isn't really popping anymore.
No, because
like
sometimes it's literally like, I don't know, just think of something outlandish like throwing a frisbee while eating a tortilla. And it's like, wait, okay, so has anybody else tried this? Like, what is it?
How many chips can you put in the jar of whatever?
Right.
Salsa.
A mayonnaise jar that also while flipping a coin.
It's like we're just inventing things for the sake of inventing things so we can get in the Guinness Book of World Records.
But if you had a Guinness Book, like, don't you put that out there?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm a Guinness.
Yes.
Then you always know, like, doing what? And it's like, oh, I'm in the books.
Yeah.
I don't really want to tell you what the record is.
I don't know if you knew this about me.
It's kind of a big deal. How about this? A high school football star in Alabama lost his 2 championship rings 6 years ago.
Uh-oh.
While he was celebrating Mardi Gras. It's a good time to celebrate there in February. But the rings were found, Jay, by a man using a metal detector 6 years later. Have you ever used one of those?
No, I've wanted to, though.
I got to admit, I don't know why. I was really young, but my dad had one of those, and I thought they were the coolest thing, and I thought I was going to find all sorts of lost treasures in the backyard.
Yeah, that
really didn't. But then I wanted to take him to the beach and the sand. I'm like, I'm gonna find pots of gold.
No, I was always like that when I was a kid. I don't, whether it was on a TV
Isaiah
show.
Want to do this?
Oh, Isaiah would be so down.
Yeah.
Isaiah, though, these are the type of things that Isaiah like lives for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But really, now I don't want to do it. But yeah, when I was a kid, I really thought like you take that to the beach and like it was ingrained in my head.
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't everybody go to the beach with a metal detector and find gold? I don't get it.
And I don't know what my thought process was. I mean, again, I'm a kid, but like, yeah, everybody loses gold at the beach. Like, is that what we think happens?
Gold or money, or you're gonna find a treasure chest, something.
Yeah,
right?
at least like, or there'll be the X somewhere. So if the X marks the spot, I will just put the metal detector there. There's a bunch of stuff there. I'm going to find it.
Imagination is great.
It is great. Why do we lose that a little bit as we get older?
Well,
reality?
Yeah.
Reality sets in?
That reality thing really ruins things.
Because that metal detector, I don't know what that costs, but whatever. Let's say $100. I may be more. I have no idea. Then I'm like, am I going to go buy $100 to find 11 cents and change?
But that's just it, right? We talk about reality. Reality kicks in. I think that's why I've never done the metal detector, so I can still keep that imagination that, oh, you could find something.
I think you should get it for Isaiah for Christmas.
So
then you can at least still have the imagination. Let him kind of run with it.
Yeah, let him run with it is not the best idea because he'll take it other places besides the beach.
Yeah, okay. Just an idea.
I appreciate you trying to play Santa, but...
what day is today besides obviously October 26th? Let's
Wednesday.
See. We've got a Wednesday. We've got a Wine Wednesday, National Financial Crime Fighter Day.
Financial Crime Fighter Day? Mm-hmm. What the hell is that?
There's National Mincemeat Day. I've never had mincemeat. National Mule Day. National Tennessee Day. National Pumpkin Day.
Why are we celebrating Tennessee today?
Why?
Yeah, why? Like, why did who decided October 26th, like, we're going to celebrate Tennessee?
In 2017, National Calendar Day began celebrating each date in order to that they entered the Union starting the week of Independence Day and ending with Hawaii. So maybe this is roughly when.
Got it.
Okay.
Shout out Tennessee.
Yay. Rocky Top. Good old Rocky Top.
Make sure, you celebrate responsibly today out there. Because everyone does that in Nashville already.
Yes. Also on this day, you were telling me before the show, this is like the Marty McFly Day?
Yes. So in Back to the Future, the original film, Marty McFly travels back to 1955 on October 26th, 1985.
And wasn't there something with that, like with the Cubs or something when he went forward?
So when he went forward, they were 1 year off. So in Back to the Future 2, he travels forward to 2015. And the Cubs win the World Series against Miami, which at the time was not a baseball team. Now we have the Miami Marlins. But yeah, the Cubs won the next year in 2016.
Pretty good foreshadowing there.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Also on this day in 1984, Terminator was released.
Oh man, one of my favorite franchises.
1970, Elton John's Your Song came out.
Whose song?
Your Song.
That's not really my song. I can't claim that.
How about this song? Katy Perry's Firework in 2010.
Oh, God, one of the worst songs of all time.
Seriously?
Dude, and I actually...
Worse. You're going with worse songs.
Firework is such an awful song. Like, there's nothing redeeming about it at all.
Wow. Shade at Katy Perry.
I love Katy Perry. I'm just saying the song sucked.
The song is trash.
Yes.
Okay.
It happens. Even some of your favorite artists put out trash music. It's just a thing.
It does. Actors and actresses have bad films.
Yeah.
It just happens. And there's some though. Yeah. And I've heard actors or actresses say this, like that they were actually really proud of that just didn't do well.
Right. No.
They actually, and obviously they're not dumb. They read the script like this is gonna be good.
Us that are the consumers just don't appreciate the art that went behind that. Clearly do not see the abstract context of why the movie was just so great.
Yeah. No, it's trash. It's bad.
Yeah,
we don't like it.
It's all right.
Happy birthday today, Jay, to Hillary Clinton.
Oh,
how old is
Hill
she?
Dog.
Hill Dog.
Hill Dog is 72.
Pretty good. 75.
Okay.
75 for Hillary Clinton. Happy birthday to Monte Ellis. The Warrior Run may have started when they moved on from Monte Ellis.
Yeah, I think that gets a little taken out of context. But anyways, Monte Ellis
Was he empty calories?
I think so.
Okay.
38.
Good job. 37.
Happy
birthday to former #1 pick. Never really realized his potential, I think. Andre Bargnani.
Never realized his potential or didn't have any.
Oh, wow.
Let's see. Old Bargs. Got drafted in 06.
Oh, he's doing math.
Trying to do math here. I'm going to say old Bargs is 37.
Same as Monte Ellis.
Nice.
Same day. Happy birthday. This guy's very talented. Great voices. Singer, too. Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane.
Sings classics. It's like a crooner.
Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane.
Yes.
Seth is 48.
Wow, you're on it, Jay. 49 today
Nice.
For Seth MacFarlane. Happy birthday to another singer. You might listen to him when you don't, we know you like your sports. But you might listen to him on the country station down the hall at KNCI. Keith Urban.
Keith Urban. Know nothing about him other than he's a country singer.
Do you know who he's married to?
Keith Urban is not married to Trisha Yearwood.
No, he's not.
Keith Urban is married.
Famous actress.
Keith Urban is married.
Very famous.
To Susan Sarandon.
Younger.
Scarlett Johansson.
Used to be married. Yeah, she was married to Tom Cruise too, as well. I believe.
The clingy chick from Wedding Crashers. I'm just thinking of Red.
Nicole Kidman.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. Unless I'm wrong. I think I'm right.
What's the last thing you saw Nicole Kidman in?
It was a really weird Netflix, like a 9-part thing. It was out there.
I haven't seen Nicole
was
Kidman
like
in years.
Therapist. It was weird. It was a weird show. Anyway, how old is Keith Urban today?
Keith Urban's 58.
55.
Okay.
And last, but certainly not least, happy birthday. This guy may have the best job in the world.
Oh.
Longtime game show host. Apparently, they don't work that often. They film a bunch of shows in once and then make just boatloads of cash. Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak is 78.
Pat Sajak is 76.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I knew he was getting up there. I know he's approaching 80.
But, I mean, game show host is a pretty good job.
It is, especially when you get on a show like
that
where it's just longevity. Like, dude, him and Vanna White must be paid.
Can you remember a time where they weren't the host and
No.
turn the letters over?
I want to say they started hosting and turning letters in Wheel of Fortune before I was born. I want to say that's like, what, 81, 82?
I think there was a brief time where Pat wasn't on there that I vaguely remember. Rolf Benershka.
That might have been like when they
But I think
they
Vanna
do
was
those
always there.
afternoon versions,
Yeah.
maybe.
Man.
But yeah, I can't ever think of Wheel of Fortune without either of the two.
Wow.
Shout out Vanna White.
Shout out to Vanna White. It's a good gig.
It is.
Good work if you can get it. All right, that's it for us today. We thank you for listening, for checking us out on YouTube as well. Dave should be back with us tomorrow. At least we hope so. He was here for a good chunk of the show. Half the show. Thanks to Kayte Christensen. We're back tomorrow. Sam Amick will join us tomorrow and much more. We'll get you ready for the Kings and the Grizzlies. Have a great rest of your day. For Carmichael Day, for Kayte Christensen, for Jay Mars, I'm Jason Ross. See ya.
It's the Carmichael Day Show with Jason Ross.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm